And we are live and recording. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons: The Curse of Strand, where our party have been in a bit of an odd situation. Unfortunately, our Dragonborn Sorcerer has been delayed with work, so he'll appear in a little bit. But let's just jump in where we left off, shall we? To the Abbey. That should have gotten everybody focused over there.
Oh, he's still here.
Yes.
Okay. I was waiting for the music to start, so because we love the jukebox, we love it so much.
Oh yes,
Yes.
it's wonderful.
It's
It takes its moments.
it's like a rat trap covered in poison needles.
That's one heck of a metaphor, Gorg.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Thing is, that won't translate well into the character.
Okay. So then, the conversation petered out slightly as the abbot
Yes.
returned to his reading. The Scala, while ignoring your presence for the most part, returned to organising her cutlery, putting it down in the correct order this time, gathering it up and starting again. What do you do?
Well,
Ez is going to be, watching the silk closely, thinking to herself, and then she's going to glance over at Reister and then back to the abbot. Just sorry to interrupt. We had a similar question from Irene about our friend here, and she gestures to Reister.
Oh, and what would that be?
Recently, through a little misunderstanding, we were dealing with a vampire, tangentially related to the lord of this land. And he was using our friend as basically a bit of a sock puppet. We think we were able to clear influence out, but we just wanted to be sure.
Well, I suppose there's no harm in double checking. The abbot sets down his book and makes his way around the table. And let me double check and see what spells he has, because I am prepared. Okay. He sets his hand on Reister's head for a moment and stares into his eyes.
right, he's reading he's reading my lifeline.
I don't sense much in the way of influence in him. If there was any spell holding his will, it's no longer there.
Ah, okay. I appreciate the checkup. Thank you for your patience with us.
Oh, of course. As I have said before, if you do need assistance, I am more than willing to aid.
It is deeply appreciated, sir. It's like Ez bows her head slightly, and yet this is completely out of character for Ez when it comes to dealing with most people.
He sees your gesture and smiles and returns the bow of the head.
And I would like to thank you as well.
Just be wary, my friend. Those creatures, they do like to pry on uncertain minds.
Would you have any suggestions against safeguarding us from such intrusion?
He scratches his chin for a moment. There are certain magics available that can shield your mind from outside influences. Your companion, within your companion, he points to Arena, is evidence of that. Unfortunately, I have no such items at my disposal. Perhaps there's someone you could find who could either sell you something or perhaps enchant an item for you.
It is very much appreciated.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
We really appreciate you.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Well, we've taken up quite a bit of your time. You forgive my short-term memory. It's a little bit. Which did you say we were okay to hang around downstairs or upstairs?
You may make use of the upstairs, but please do not enter the other wing.
The other wing, which is the downstairs, yeah?
Yes. That
No
area
problem.
is currently dedicated to the care of the unfortunate souls here, and they do not take kindly to strangers, despite my best efforts.
I understand. It's no problem. We'll try and keep out of their way. If there's anything you think we can do for them, don't hesitate to let us know.
I do appreciate the offer. Perhaps, in time, if I could slowly introduce you to them, you may be able to speak with them without unpleasantness.
Mm-hmm.
If I may be so frank, what seems to be the matter to them, aside from the fact that they have been, for lack of a better term, transformed into these multifaceted creatures?
The Belleviews have been with me for quite some time, across many generations. They came here seeking aid for their unfortunate condition, leprosy and such, but they wanted to perfect their form. They wanted to become a little bit less susceptible to such terrible diseases. Unfortunately for some of them, it hasn't panned out quite as well, despite my best efforts to discourage them.
Thank you. I think I understand now.
As I say, I will not stand in the way. If someone wants to be foolish, I will always be here to help.
Well, I don't think any of us have any intention to, cause any trouble with them. We've, as we said, it's been a little bit of a trek getting here. Do we have anything else we wish to discuss?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so either.
We should maybe visit the other guest in this house.
Oh, yes, of course. Esmeralda's here, isn't she? Goody.
Yes, the hunter. She was taking some time to rest in her quarters upstairs.
We will see if she's willing to have some guests herself.
You're more than
I
welcome.
would say.
As I say, barring the restrictions I have already given you, you are free to roam. And,
We appreciate that.
of course. And he sits down and picks up his book again.
In that case, Ez is going to sit up. She's going to bow at the abbot and then Vasilka, and she's going to start heading up the stairs.
I'd like to make a quick roll to see what Zabonic knows about creatures like Vasilka.
Yeah, I would say roll an Arcana check.
That's what I thought.
I am so unprofessional, I don't have my character sheet open.
You have heard of these creatures by name only. You wouldn't know much about their construction, their function, or if they do actually have any sort of human traits. You can't say for sure. Okay. Are you all following Ez?
Yep.
For now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got nothing better to do for now, so
And give me a moment and I will arrange upstairs for you.
Yes, if you would please be so kind to bring us all upstairs.
Diddle-do-do, diddle-do-do, diddle-do-do.
And I think that would include Miss Swiftwings.
Working on it. I really am, I promise.
Reptile.
Okay.
And of course, hello, Bloody, as ever. Perfect shit posting
Bloody's
in
in
the
chat?
chat.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't see the chat right now.
Okay. Has that swapped for everyone?
Not for
No,
me.
They seem to be
Still
downstairs
the
still.
Oh, there we go.
Nope,
There we
moving down.
There we are now.
Excellent.
Thanks, Roll20.
I worked on it.
I didn't know Cloven was here.
Okay, well,
Who's a... Oh, okay.
just give me a moment
I
to
would
know.
not be here.
He should not be here. He should be at his post.
This isn't his post. Jukebox, why? Just every time. Okay. I'm totally professional. Okay.
No, if you were professional, you would probably stream the music some other way.
Probably, yeah.
Ooh.
You're trying to peek around the DM screen? How dare you, creature?
Bad creature, bad.
That's 1d4 psychic damage.
For the horrors he has seen. Okay. The wooden stairs climb 20 feet into a loft with a pitched roof and a door in the centre of the south wall. Unlit lanterns hang from the rafters and a rope dangles from a bronze bell lodged in the belfry 30 feet overhead. The room is filled with the sound of beautiful music, a melody so enchanting that it adds a bit of a much-needed warmth to the otherwise freezing room. A black shroud covers a humanoid shape lying on a wooden table. The music does nothing to stir it. A cot, heaped with furs, rests in the northwest corner, surrounded by empty wine bottles. An oil lamp burns atop a nearby table, silhouetting a squat creature that has two heads. It sits on the edge of the cot with a violin between its legs. With a crustacean claw-like appendage, it grasps the neck of the instrument while running a bow gently across the strings with its human hand. And I will just get Cloven for you now. So you see this gentleman.
Okay, holy moly.
Oh, he has someone to cuddle with.
Yeah. Holy moly.
He
At least
glances- Sorry, go on.
At least his brother's not coming out of his stomach.
Hmm.
God,
Yeah.
That would require us to be on Mars.
Or Dimension X.
He glances up at you with bleary eyes. The childlike head is leant against his cheek, seemingly asleep, and he keeps playing the music, although his tempo has slowed as he watches you curiously.
Ez just sort of like just stares at him for a moment, and then just like she'll nod to him and be like, "Apologies, don't mind us." And she'll sort of like work her way over here towards the window and take a look out over the area, seeing if she can see any sight or sound of Esmeralda.
You do not. The window you're looking out at looks over the gateway you entered into the courtyard. In the distance, you can see what appears to be a small garden at the northmost corner of the Abbey's grounds. You can't see much detail beyond just a small patch of greenery.
Okay.
If you lean your face against the window, you can just about see the gatehouse where you first entered the area.
Okay. Ez is going to hang out in the corner and just listen to the music and try not to be stared at the body that's on the bed there.
I'd like to know what we can observe about the body.
What are you trying to do?
I'd like to know what we can observe about the body.
You see the black sheet with the humanoid shape, and it doesn't appear to be moving as far as you can see.
Looks dead, yes. But I'm trying to perceive if it might be Esmeralda.
Roll perception.
That's what I did.
The body does appear female, but unless you lift the sheet, you won't be able to see much more detail. You do notice that there are a few extremities missing in the silhouette.
I think everybody's sort of, no pun intended, pieced together what's going on there.
Yes. Harvest.
Ez sort of like glances over at Cloven and says, not to interrupt or anything, but she points at the body. I'm assuming these were spare parts for the lady downstairs?
Cloven's adult head swings round to look at you, jostling the baby's head. It whimpers for a moment, and then he quickly picks up the violin to soothe it again. And he kind of narrows his eyes in a squint, more so to try and clear his vision than to give you a glare. Bad that as the master's project. That one didn't work.
Do you mind if we take a look? Or do you think the master would mind?
I don't care. Master's got his toy.
That is true. Okay, no problem. Love the music, by the way. Ez is going to sort of like gingerly lean forward and glancing over Irena's, give her a nod to be like, yeah, you might want to turn away, love.
She takes a step back.
Yeah, Ez is waiting until she gets confirmation before removing the sheet.
Okay. Cloven just kind of shrugs, jostling the small head again, and then turns back to his music. He doesn't seem to care.
Okay. Again, Ez is going to wait for a confirmation from like Elaine Reister or Zabornak before she gingerly lifts up a corner.
Elaine just nods.
Okay
Nice
then.
nod.
Ez will lift a corner.
Okay. You pick up the shroud, and as you expected, the creature underneath appears to be made of stitched together body parts. As you glance over its shoulders, its face, you realize you recognize a part of this. A face you've seen before. You see a part of an orcish face staring back at you.
Oh no.
Great. So that and here I thought.
Ez, I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
No.
Oh,
I know.
you are gonna love this. Oh.
Oh,
Hey.
so
Okay.
Ryster looks at the bit of the head and
Okay.
as
Oh, just a
He's-
moment there, Reister. Just a moment.
he's putting things together.
All of you see Ez visibly recoil. Her body goes rigid as she blinks and rubs her eyes and looks back at the corpse. And she sees just the remains of human women stitched together again.
Oh. Yeah, Ez sort of like growls in Lycan, and I don't know if Irina would hear it from over there, but basically she's just like, oh, I'm gonna burn this place to the fucking ground one day. She'll like calm herself, and she'll be like, anybody we know?
I do a medicine check.
You acted like you knew them.
Trick of the light.
God's sake.
And Ez is just going to lean back against the wall, arms folded, and just be glaring at the pile.
I don't think so.
I'd like to also figure out if something
Nope.
like
Okay.
Okay. So are you trying to look at the bodies as well, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
So-
actually do this.
Sir Elaine, unfortunately, you have a closer look at the body now that Ez has moved out of the way, and you cannot tell any part of death. You cannot tell any cause of death because it is an amalgamation of several different women. Reister, you get the feeling that Ez is definitely hiding something, but nothing that would be considered dangerous, just something personal.
Yeah.
Creature, you
Figured.
notice that a lot of the stitching on this creature is the exact same as you've seen in Visca downstairs.
Well, same with Rice. He's done a perception check on the body as well.
What are
The
you
inside
looking for?
was seeing if I knew the body, but it seems like there's no part we know.
Okay. With that perception, you glance over the body. You even lift the sheet a little bit to get a better look. You recognize no features of this body.
I probably would recognize the stench.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Body is reeking
Yeah.
of decay and a food preservative.
Sorry. Yeah, better put that down. Think this body's ripe.
Which part of it?
What I would like to know is where the parts came from.
Graveyards?
One would hope.
I would be
Agreed.
surprised. I don't think. I think he might not necessarily be. Yeah, but he wouldn't go to that point. Harvesting himself.
How do you
Fresh
know?
harvest.
Because, as Zabarnak, he has been such a gracious host to us.
Ah, yes. Always such a great
Well.
indicator of their personality.
Mm-hmm.
I have no reason.
Ez sort of
at
like
least.
glances over at Cloven and back to Zabornak.
At least I have no reason to believe that he is
Cloven
doing
appears to be watching you through bleary eyes.
Anyway, we heard you have a guest up here, Cloven.
What do you mean? What?
Woman?
He seems surprised that you have started talking to him again.
A woman? Someone with
you,
only one head?
You mean aside from her? He points at the table. Yeah.
I mean, aside from her, someone with a pulse.
I take it you don't mean any of my family. Yeah, go out that
I
way.
said, guest, your family lives here.
Roll insight. This man is drunk.
Explains the wine bottles.
Zabornik is quickly going to describe the clothes that Esmeralda was wearing when we were last seeing her.
She's kind of got a Catherine Zeta-Jones vibe, you know.
What?
She has
Who is this Catherine Zeta-Jones?
she has one leg.
She's got a peg leg.
Cloven stops playing for a moment and scratches his head. Don't know about no one-legged, but we do have guests. He, again, points down towards this door.
Well,
We want to find out.
Want me to knock?
I think
Or
that's a good idea.
or want me to just...
I think knocking would be a good idea.
Well, Rice knocks on the door, gently.
You get no answer. And behind you, Cloven is chuckling.
Cold cast, sir.
Well, when we try opening the door, at least a little bit carefully, it might not be locked.
You're able to push open the door quite handily, and it leads outside. Which is why you believe Cloven was chuckling at you.
I didn't know there was just a balcony out here. But yeah, good joke. Good joke.
It's hilarious, really.
Well,
Okay. You make your way outside.
careful.
You notice the armored scarecrows that you spotted coming in through the curtain wall are now lining up here. Here you can see that they're just
Sonic, don't jump.
they're just basically bales of straw with tattered caps and shirts with spears in quotation marks as they appear to be pointed sticks. One is just holding a mop the wrong way around.
I like
Well-
that one.
Is a clever idea. You don't
Yes.
want anybody to think that they can just take this place for themselves.
To be honest, seen this at one of our old fortresses. I was in the military.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
I suppose
There's a
you,
lot of things you've never heard of me.
I guess in Baxter's stratagems.
Yeah.
Rena reaches behind her and just closes the door, cutting off the chuckles of Cloven.
Thank you, my dear. Are you alright? I don't want to assume, what you're comfortable with seeing and everything, but that was, it was not very nice.
Yeah.
I'll be alright. Quite frankly, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of having someone else be considered for the creature's bride.
I actually had something to talk to you about that. Let's wait until we're alone.
Alright.
Ez looks around suspiciously at the scarecrows.
Alright, so you could be so kind as to open this door?
To open this door. You don't want
No.
me to knock first. There might be a lady in undressing in there after all.
Valid point.
Get your wishful
Alright.
thinking under control.
I'll open it if you want. Ez grins.
Maybe the next door. Rice knocks.
You hear no response.
Okay. Gently trying to open the door.
This door sticks a bit, and you have to put a bit of muscle behind it to get it moving. But you do
Then
manage
I'll
to
do
get
it.
it open. Why are you doing this to me, dynamic landing? No. Inside, you see.
Such wonder.
There's a wooden counter shaped like an L standing in front of this spacious office. All the other furniture in this room has rotted away, and there are heaps of mouldy wood and faded cloth. There is a staircase going down in the south of the room, and from there you can hear snarls, growls, yips, and chattering arguments.
Let's not go down there. For now.
Agreed. Let's go check the next door.
So, yeah. Ez, if you want to open the door, be my guest.
No problem. What's the worst that could happen?
No,
So-
I meant the door
No,
out
this,
here.
this one.
No, okay. Ez pushes her ear against the door and listens.
Roll me a perception check.
I shall, with advantage if I may, with her wolfy hearing. Perception. Why can't I find it? Hey, that's a 20.
Okay.
Delicious.
You place your ear to the door, and you listen for a moment, and you hear... I can't believe this fucking thing won't work.
I know that voice. Ez is going to knock on the door really loudly and say, "Guess who?"
Oh, for fuck's sake! You hear thumping and stamping as the door opens to reveal a rather irritated looking Esmeralda. Oh, what do you want?
And nice to see a familiar face.
Yeah, I suppose I could say that's true. Alright, morning off the walls then at least. Don't want them overhearing, those bloody lunatics.
Ez looks mildly offended at that.
Esmeralda does not notice or care. Alright, Specky, let's move on. Okay, you head inside this room, and there are a few bunk beds that have disintegrated with age, and they're lying in heaps along the wall of this small room. You notice there's one bed that looks to be in decent condition, and it appears to be cleaned off. You assume this is the one that Esmeralda has been staying in. I didn't expect you guys here anytime soon. I take it you've talked to the, she holds up her fingers and does air quotes, lovely host.
Yeah, we had a great chat.
Ez will actually briefly take a look around the windows and everything to see if there's any way of anybody listening in on them.
We might get everyone in and close the door. That might actually work.
Swiftwood apologizes and scurries in. And shuts the door behind them. Just let me get there. There we are. Door shut! Haha! Okay.
Thank you.
Looking out the windows, you can see it is a sheer cliff down towards the town of Kresik.
I think we might be okay to speak here, but considering what he said, we don't know what kind of abilities he has.
Yeah. Claims to be an avatar of the Morning Lord, my booty.
I'm sorry, Master, what was that?
I think he just said, my booty.
Yeah, I thought that... Anyway, Esmeralda, lovely to see you. What are you doing here?
I told you when we left the tower I was going here to see if I could get some help against, what do you call him? Mr.
You know who.
Mr. Sackles?
Ah, yes, the parasite.
I still like that name. Well, came here and found out that the residents of this place are all batshit insane.
They are certainly troubled. I will not disagree with you.
Some of them are more bat than others, yes.
I take it that the abbot has told you his plan for that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your opinion?
I think he's nuts.
Yes.
Do you, by any chance, have any idea where he gets his material from?
You know, I've actually been trying to figure that out, and I do not know. He already had the Vishka one, he calls it. He already had that one walking up and walking around when I arrived. She was missing a piece, but that has appeared since. The other one, with the really creepy fella, that was there before as well. So I don't know where he's been getting it. There is a graveyard outside. She goes over to the window and points further over in this direction.
Seen that when we came in, yeah.
Yeah, but those graves are really, 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 really old. None in there but bones and dust if you're lucky. I think he might be going a little bit further downhill.
You think he's harvesting freshly? You're catching my drift.
I don't think he's killing anyone, if that's what you mean. But yeah, I think he's
No, I was talking about regular old grave robbing.
yeah. I take it you saw that creepy pair at the gate.
They seemed like a nice couple.
Yeah, the one with the dog face, he always carries a shovel with him. I haven't seen him without it.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We were kind of worried that you were part of the puzzle, so to speak, when we came in. So, I mean, at least...
She pauses for a moment and considers and goes, yeah, okay, I can see where you got that assumption. And I'm glad I am not part of that puzzle piece, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I mean, yeah, this guy is completely batshit and everything, but at least for the moment, we know they're not killing people. They're just using material that they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, probably. I mean, technically it's a form of necromancy, and I would normally have considered that an evil practice. But I think he's got it in his head that he's doing this for the greater good.
I can assure you that sometimes those are the worst people.
I've seen
I can concur. I concur.
In the name of the great good.
The greater good.
The greater good. So,
They sacrifice hundreds, thousands of people for what they think is the greater good.
ironically, they're never willing to sacrifice themselves.
No, it's always the lives of others. But let's not delve too much into politics right now.
Well,
We don't have the time.
to be fair, he did help me out a little bit. He's telling me I'm a little bit misguided in my motivations, but he offered to help me, at the very least, as long as I don't get in the way of his plan. I found it very disconcerting, if you know what I mean.
I'll be honest, he kind of got to me too, in a way I did not expect.
Let's just say I almost had a shouting match with him.
I'm rather glad you didn't, to be honest. I know everyone's a little bit on edge around him, but this is completely selfish reasons, I know, but I really would like to learn a bit more from him before we make a decision that is going to burn another bridge.
You know, quite frankly, he does have a lot of powerful magic, and he does seem to be willing to help. He's not going to stop us from trying our thing, he just thinks we're doomed to fail.
Yeah.
What was the way he described it to me? Oh yeah, you can't make a fool learn a lesson by telling them, I think he says. That's just how I nearly drew my sword at him at that point.
Well,
I knew I liked you for a reason, Esmeralda.
well, Esmeralda, to be honest, there is a way to read this that you don't need to draw your sword at.
What do you mean?
Because he never said who the fool is.
Yeah, but
Maybe he is.
Christ,
I'm pretty
Maybe
sure
he is
he
the
doesn't
fool.
think he's the fool.
The irony
That's what
is...
Do.
Fools never do.
No, a fool never knows that they're the fool.
Well, the thing
They
is,
think everyone else is.
he was planning to give that thing to Mr. Sackles, as you like to call him.
Yeah.
So sooner or later, he's gonna try and convince him to come here. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe I could create something to trap him here. And she points down towards the floor. As you look down, you notice a few chalked circles, a few places where it's been smudged and rubbed out. I've been
Clever idea, but
trying to
I have
remember
a
how to do
feel.
this.
I have a feeling that our host might then sick someone at you if he learns of your idea.
I suppose that is true, yeah, but if I get the killing blow beforehand, might be worth it. But in the meantime, I honestly can't remember how to do this bloody thing. She kind of kicks the ground in frustration.
What exactly is it trying to do?
It's a magic circle. Essentially, if I can get him to stand in it, he'll be bound there for a little while.
Yeah, but only for a little while.
Yeah, well, a little while. Could be up to like 24 hours, so that'll be more than enough. But the problem is, the book I used before is gone. And I can't remember.
Gone?
Let's just say it met a little bit of a bad end.
Did you run your cart into the river, or what happened?
No. Let's just say it was a casualty of that pack you saved me from.
Also have the issue of stopping the filth from returning to his crypt.
And that was the hope. If I can keep him bound in there, and then reduce him to his form, keep him there long enough, he'll dissipate before he doesn't get back to his crypt.
Oh,
Well, at least
I see.
that's my
Interesting
theory.
idea.
I mean,
Interesting
I
idea.
have to I have a question for you, Esmeralda. And again, I don't want to come off as condescending, but have you actually fought him one-on-one before?
Mr. Suckles, no, not directly, but I've done my fair share of vampires.
Trust me, as someone who's seen him up close. He's much more than those regular ones.
Ez is going to turn to Irene. Gabriella, if you could... Wait, are we still going with that? I can't remember who knows and who doesn't. It's fine. Gabriella, could you just move the scarf a little bit and show Esmeralda what Mr. Suckles decided to do to you?
I'd rather not.
Okay,
What?
it's no problem. It's no problem.
Let's just say last time we all met him, he almost flattened us.
He beat the ever-loving shit out of us, almost killed her, and he just walked off. Not because we injured him, just because he was annoyed. The plan you have is not a bad one. I actually think that's a clever idea. But first of all, you need to destroy his body, and to be honest, I don't know how tough you are, but I'm certain you're not tougher than him.
Yeah, we shall need a little bit more firepower.
Thing is, probably it seemed like none of our weapons were able to harm him. Aside, I believe, from Cyrilline's radiant, his powerful blade.
I can channel divinity into my blade, but I'm the only one who can do it. So,
Wait, hang on. You lot were able to take on those werewolves pretty easy, and you're saying he trounced you?
Yes.
Yep.
Wasn't
hurt
it a
him,
big
but
deal for him?
I was able to hurt him, but not enough.
I see Esmeralda's starting to look a little concerned and glances back down to the scribbles on the floor.
Again, I'll be honest with you. I think you've got the beginnings of a plan, because I was not aware of how we could really fix that issue, because we are aware that, as soon as we destroy the body, then it's a case of, he just poofs off and he can do something else. I kind of had a stupid idea for dealing with that myself, but this idea is much better. This is way better than the idea. But
Yeah.
again, we need... I'm sorry.
I was saying,
Your first idea.
I've never drawn this circle before. It was Van Richten who did it before, and I can't remember how to do it. And
Shit,
that
yeah.
book's destroyed, so maybe I should try and track down Van Richten again.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, since our discussion and realizing that, well, I think we kind of really fucked your friend over a little bit. I think now that we've taken care of a few other things, we really should be focusing on tracking him down and making sure he isn't killed because of us.
Well, yeah, it depends on what you told me last time. They'll be looking for this, what do you call it, half-elf person? If he's smart,
Yes, Richtable.
if he's smart, and he usually pretty is, he has several different identities he can slop into. The biggest issue will be hiding his cart again. That reminds me, did he still have Mr. Whiskers?
Mr. Whiskers?
Yeah.
I apologize,
Are you
I'm a little
talking
lost.
about the big cat?
Yeah, it was a big lion.
Yes, he still
Lion.
has the lion.
Lion? That wasn't
There is a
lion.
tiger?
Rictavo had a tiger.
Oh,
A saber-toothed tiger.
that's not Mr. Whiskers.
Oh,
That's a shame.
It seems like we might have to deal with an imposter.
I think we figured that out.
Yeah, still just wanted to confirm it again.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
to be fair, Whiskers was pretty old.
Still,
Maybe he just got himself a new cat.
that cat didn't look like it was a kitten.
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen him in a long time. But
Yeah,
the
but
point
still.
is, what are we gonna do now? If I can't complete this damn circle, and if he's as strong as you say, it'll be suicide for me to attempt it, especially if the abbot's gonna turn on me as soon as I try something. So, my idea's kind of scrapped.
I said before, we need more people.
Mm-hmm.
We need other people who we can get.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get the other two for our idea, seeing as he's pulling his as almost like a zealot.
He is a lost cause.
Yeah. Unless you offer to help him get ready for the wedding, he's not really gonna do much. He'll patch up your
Yeah.
wounds, but he won't fight.
Well, I mean, one thing that he said that really struck with me, I don't know if he said this to you, Esmeralda, but he basically said if any of us die, he can do something about that. Now, I don't know if that means yours walking around like her, and Ez will point over to, across the way. But, yeah, that is somebody we kind of want to stay on the right side of for now.
I'm not sure if we can trust somebody who thinks that Lord Drippyfangs is fundamentally a good guy.
You don't need to trust someone to make use out of them, Zabornak.
Still, we'd kind of have to trust him with our lives, and this may be more important, our souls.
Well, not as long as Ez is around. I mean,
Now, you
you would
mentioned-
be able to keep him from taking any soul that he shouldn't get.
Well, I can try. It's kind of, what I do is kind of complicated, but I will
I'm saying
say
it would
this.
delay him at least so that someone could stop him from doing this. I'm not
Yes.
saying that you have to go through the entirety.
There would be resistance. I was going to suggest something really stupid, though. And I know it's stupid, so you know it's going to be bad. I know, but that girl in that, he's got, waiting tables and everything. The Mr. Suckles. Okay, it's cute. I like that name. Mr. Suckles' future bride. What?
Yes, Mrs. Suckles, yes.
Miss Suckles. Oh. Anyway, what if she was given a soul?
What are you suggesting?
I mean, I do not give any delusion to the fact that this plan would work, because we all know what Mr. Suckles is. He is a parasite. He's not interested in redemption or love. He has no understanding of the concept. But
At least no longer.
True, but that girl out there, she did not ask to exist.
True.
I
That thing
want
isn't
to help.
anything. He's just
Not
a
yet.
shambling corpse.
Not yet, but
It's a bunch of shambling corpses
Well, yeah,
She-
it's more accurate, yeah.
stitched together.
but she could be.
Nah, I've seen these things before. It's impossible. It's a rotten corpse. No soul will attach itself to a rotten corpse. I tried to tell that to him, and he kind of shut me up about that.
Did
Think
he ever ask any souls?
Hmm?
Did he ever ask any souls if they wanted to?
I don't believe so, but I've seen necromancers before, and they've done this many times. You can't really attach a soul to a corpse. At least not
are you
permanently,
going
anyway.
are you going to suggest what I think you're going to suggest?
I might do Reister, but where are we going to find 4,000 yards of rope and the tar and feathers at this time of night?
What?
Never
Rita
mind.
looks very confused.
I'll explain later, my dear. I think I might have something spare to donate to the cause. I've never really done an internal inventory, but Ez sort of looks a little bit sheepish around the group, and she'll actually start, pulling off, the upper part of her dress. Obviously, there's underwear, but she basically shows off the skin that she keeps covered up. The scales, the different types of skin and everything.
Oi, I did not sign on for a peep show. Keep your dress
No,
on.
you can buy
it's
me a
not
drink first. Don't worry about that.
You would know if she were coming on to you.
Yeah, you will know, but later. Right now, serious.
Wait,
I was found like this. But 6 years ago, I didn't have this. And she points to the green orcish ear and the green patches of skin. When Yastra died, and I saved her soul, that is when this happened. So I know there's at least a couple of other souls, let's just say, that I might have acquired. Honestly, I don't know what they do and which parts of me they are, but in theory, we could donate one.
Hold on. How do we know that the souls are up for it?
Well, I don't know.
And how do we know what would happen to you if you remove one of these souls?
We don't.
and we don't know if the souls are not yet corrupted. We don't know who these individuals are.
Furthermore, we don't know if they would be okay with this.
I'm fairly certain a lot of them wouldn't be.
For one
If they
thing,
were
Considering the
Included.
last ritual you were a part of, I'd rather you not risk it.
You make up. Yeah, you.
You could end up
These are all
hurting
good points.
yourself.
When do I not hurt myself?
You know what I mean.
You could end up hurting yourself. You could end up hurting Irina.
Okay, fine.
I'm fine. I'm more worried about Ez hurting herself or doing something to herself.
That would
If
hurt
it
you
gets the
too,
job
Mary.
done, I don't care what happens to me.
But I do.
In fact,
Funny,
you're
you
right
said the
up
same.
our ass.
Funny. Okay, you're having the same objection about me.
All I know is that a long time ago, I took things that didn't belong to me. And this happened. I don't know. I just see an opportunity to fix something.
I don't know if condemning someone to unlife is exactly a fix.
It might be a worse fate than being
Me?
stuck with you.
Right now they have it warm. They have company.
And they know that this is, for lack of a better word, temporary. They know that they will be released at some point.
Ez sort of stares at Reister for a moment, and now Sarai's. Let's see.
I mean, if they are in her, then if one of them ends up in her, they're stuck there forever. And that's a fate worse than death, wouldn't you agree?
I'd have to say that'd be something I'd agree with.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, that was probably a 0 idea. I just wanted to throw it out there.
It was a decent idea, and if we don't come up with anything better, we might have to revisit it.
Just think about even just the time they would have to devote to lotion every day.
But, to bring it... Okay, well, fair enough. Okay, but to bring it back around, Esmeralda, the idea of dealing some... As just leans into Irina and hugs her. The idea of finding your mentor, getting some help with this door. Excuse me, one moment.
You're letting your wolf out
There we
a bit
go,
there,
yeah.
Ez.
Yes, the wolves are everywhere. But yeah. Dogs. The idea of finding your mentor, figure out the best way to perform this ritual, and having some way of ensnaring Mr. Suckles is, I think this is a good play. So what would you suggest, where would be the best place that we can track him down?
See, I don't know. The only place I would have known would have been the tower. I've left a little room there. If anyone else ever goes in there, I'll know, but nothing since. But here, you mentioned a little bit ago about him raising the dead, right?
Yeah?
I overheard a little something. Apparently, someone died in the village recently, and the abbot was talking about going down and paying them a visit. Like the abbot himself, he normally doesn't leave, as far as I know. At least that's what the people down the town say.
So, you think that he's going... So this is not a normal thing?
Not that... Well, yeah, stories are like really powerful priests and all who can bring people back from the dead.
Oh, I see, yes.
Usually
Well, he
pretty
did say...
expensive. You need some really high-powered components to do those kind of spells. So if the abbot has access to those kind of components, well, there's no saying that a holy man could do that.
When did you say this was going to take place?
This is something I overheard a day ago. I don't know if he's done it yet.
So when did she get her new patch? The one downstairs.
Just a moment.
Dragonborn 2 is here apparently.
Someone invading the room.
The animal people, they have laundry.
Okay, sorry, Rester didn't hear
We
that.
are now in the animal laundromat, it seems.
We have a Dalek in the chat, apparently. But I know you were
No,
saying
we do not. I am not a Dalek. I am Riser Willows. You will not be exterminated. At least for now.
The impression is excruciating! 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 Moving on. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You were saying, Rester, I didn't hear you.
I was asking, you don't happen to know when she got her missing piece, the one downstairs?
Oh, she got hers about a week ago.
A week ago, so it's
No,
not...
wait, hang on. She went counting on her fingers. 5 days. 5 days, yeah.
So it's not a very recent acquisition.
Yeah, not that much. I don't think the person he was talking about is that person.
So he's building more. Possibly to advance his other guests.
I think he's focusing all his efforts on that thing he's got already.
Then why would he be building the next version already?
See, I don't think he is. He was talking about raising them from the dead, as in bringing them back to life, not creating life. You know, I don't even know if I'm talking any sense. Am I talking sense?
I must
You're
have hit my head somewhere.
Me.
I don't know what the hell's going on up here right now. You just kind of thrown me for a loop after telling me you got your asses kicked by, you know, him.
Mr. Suckles, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
We're sorry about that. Let me put it to you this way. About 3 years ago, my friends and I were part of a large group that went straight into the Castle Ravenloft, and we were decimated. Wiped out. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the only survivor, and that's only through luck, not skill.
Oh, I heard about that. I thought that was just a bunch of peasants who'd done that.
No. My friends and I were professional problem solvers. We'd been working together for a few years. We'd done a few things, tackled some difficult jobs, but yeah, we were completely decimated. Since then, I have grown so much more powerful, and even that was nothing to him.
Put a few close ones in, but didn't tell him. You didn't know that it was me. Got a few close ones in, and yeah, he was like stings of a mosquito. It was more like mosquito bites to him. Even cleaves.
Yeah. Did the abbot explain to you his theory that Mr. Suckles is a prisoner of this land?
He mentioned it, yeah.
Well, we all are, right now.
I honestly don't know if that's true. I don't know how much if his findings, as he said, are based in logic and how much of it is completely batshit insane.
It makes sense on some level,
Yes,
but
dear?
Going to go to bed early.
Could you hand me my phone?
Yeah, but I want to take that out of the future.
Okay.
no worries.
You don't have to whisper, the mic is off.
I don't know.
It isn't off.
Yep, you can hear everything.
We can hear everything.
Everything. Ha! There we go.
Yep.
Beautiful music, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Because of Strand, it's a wonderful adventure for all the family. Come to the Abbey of Dr. Moreau. We have sights, sounds, and freaks for all the little kiddies.
I
Yes.
also even
And the bouncy castle of Ravenloft. Fun for the entire family. See the mechanical man. Be amazed at the return of Strahd.
Let's not forget the three-way relationship with the two lesbian werewolves and the paladin.
Yep.
The
Could be worse. Could be a four-way.
Yeah, it could be a four-way at some point.
With Rice on the other side of the story.
Mm.
Well, who would want that?
I will say that Ez noticed, Esmeralda's mild disgust, and she's like, "No, I can fix that. That's fine." But anyway,
Oh god.
Ez is nothing if not supremely confident in herself.
Yeah, that was that was when you were
That
talking
was our
about
outbreak.
devouring souls, by the way.
Yeah, no, that will be a discussion with her later. But for now.
Yeah.
Alright. So Esmeralda kind of looks around the party and says, "Well then, if my plan's not gonna work, I think I'll probably make my way out and see if I can find Van Richten and find out about this bloody circle." She kicks at the chalk again.
So we, Ez sort of like looks to the other party and she holds up a finger to Esmeralda. One moment, sorry, and she's going to sort of like huddle football with the rest of the group over here. No, sorry, not you, Ez. Esmeralda, one moment.
Yeah, you
Elaine?
talk amongst yourselves, I'll get my stuff together.
Okay, Elaine, over here a second.
Of course.
I can do telepathy, but it's only one-on-one. So anyway,
Only one way, apparently.
oh yes, I forgot to mention that to you all. Sorry about that.
By the way, was that you screaming in my head?
Anyway, so she completely
So,
she
yes.
stares at you for a second and just carries on. He had it coming. Anyway, so derailed. Ez is going to whisper to the group. So, do we mention the vampire hunter we found and basically they had like a map to somewhere, or there was some safe location that they had?
Worth
mentioning, yes.
to her.
Also, by the way, Sephi, you are very quiet.
Sorry.
There we go.
It could be worth mentioning it.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, really, aren't we?
As far
Yeah.
as we know.
I can't believe I'm the one being the optimist here. I mean, do you think we should keep it to ourselves?
At the worst, she uses it and we don't learn. At the best,
I mean, I was suggesting that she come with us, really.
Yeah, would probably be not the worst idea.
Like I said we need all the people we can get.
I'm very sorry, Zabornak. This is my bad ear. What did you say?
I said we need all the people that we can get.
Exactly. I agree completely.
Yeah.
It would make sense to have a few other people. I don't know if she'll accompany us, though, so there's no harm in telling her, I suppose. She does seem hell-bent in trying to find her mentor.
I'll be honest with you, my dear. I was pitching it more that we were accompanying her.
I could do. But we're not finished here yet.
True.
Could we try asking her to wait for us?
I'm fairly certain that she's not the kind of woman who sticks around.
And this is true.
But even she
Well, the
could use
shuttle.
some backup. She knows we are useful.
True, but she made it here on her own.
I don't know. I don't really like the idea. I think the Van Richten situation is an important one and something we kind of want to keep our eye on. And having her risk being lost it does not feel good to me.
Yeah.
It is the group's decision. These are just suggestions.
No, I understand.
Either way, if we're going to ask her to wait, we may as well do it now, because it looks like she's going to leave otherwise.
Okay.
Alright. Elaine, I'll let
Elaine?
you ask. I don't think she fully trusts me as yet.
Alright. Esmeralda,
Yeah, you alright?
while we were on the road, we discovered a vampire hunter. Unfortunately, he didn't make it.
She stands
He-
up straight and kind of looks you full on the face. What do you look like?
Just trying to remember the description of him now.
He looked pretty dead.
Very sensitive, Rystar.
Yes.
What colour was his
Yeah.
hair?
I believe it was brown, I think.
Do we need to roll something to remember that?
I would say
Yeah.
roll an intelligence check to remember, Elaine.
Oh god, this is where it all goes wrong.
I'm gonna roll magician.
Yeah.
You don't remember much aside from the great bloody gash in his back. Reister, you remember he was, and you, Zabornik, you remember that he had tanned skin. He wore some bright colours around his belt that indicated he was probably a Vistani descendant. He did have bright blonde hair and deep green emerald eyes. Well, at least the one that was still in his skull.
We are relating this information in our typical charming manner.
Yes. Well, aside from the big gashing wound, he looked like he was a handsome fella.
It's not someone I know. It's definitely not Van Richten. Where'd you find him?
Not far from the Wizard of Wines.
Alright. So what's so important about him finding him?
Well, he was trying to get somewhere. A safe location.
Why are you looking at me as if I'd know where that is?
No, we're not suggesting that you know where that is, but maybe you clue as to what to make of this. Elaine, I believe you have the note.
Yeah, I'll just take out a note and hand it to Esmeralda.
Okay. She reads it over, glancing at the small symbol doodled on it. And thinks for a moment. Let's see. This isn't any group I've heard of. Sanctuary. What do you think that means? A keyword? This is a really weird
Probably.
symbol, too. To be fair, if there are more of them, as you were saying, you need more people. And I definitely need a few more people if we're going to take them on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a few more pairs of legs.
Yeah. Well, there's no harm
Yeah,
in
I
checking this out, see if we can maybe find a hideout. Maybe we can find them holed up there.
It's a very good idea. Would you be willing to let us join you while you check it out?
Let us remind you that we've been useful as backup before.
Zabornik, roll persuasion.
Ez is resist the urge to whisper in Esmeralda's head.
That might not end well for you.
Exactly. She's like, best not.
Esmeralda kind of tilts her head, looking at Zabornik. Look, I do admit you were pretty good, but I don't often travel in large groups. It tends to gather attention. And there's a bit of a target on my head.
Well, if there's a target already, there's not much to lose, is there?
There is value in the sea. There is value in numbers, at least for traveling on the road.
And what's wrong with having bodyguards?
Let us assist you.
Esmeralda kind of rubs her neck and goes, yeah, alright, you might have a point there. We do need to find a few bits. You know what? I think you might be right. My wagon is down at the bottom of the hill, just outside Kresik. I've got it hidden for now. I bet you meet me there.
If you think it's a better idea for you to travel without obvious company, then we can probably make sure that we're not seen as directly associated.
What, follow 50 paces behind the wagon?
Well, either that or we try to hide inside it.
She looks
No,
a
that-
little taken aback at that. It's just like, that's my room.
I do understand that. But maybe, after all, you still have the false bottom in there. The bottom panel.
Oh, yeah, but that just leads outside. It's not exactly a hidden compartment.
Yeah, I
As-
know.
Zabornak, do you, or do either of you, Reister, have any kind of ability that makes, moving a little quieter be a thing?
Oh, yeah.
We worked with someone who could cast invisibility on people. There was like a, I don't know much magic, but like a stealth spell?
There's practice without trade.
Sonic, you used something like that. Yeah, you used something like that over at the hill side where we met Mr. Suckles. So we can be a little stealthier, yes.
Remind.
Esmeralda kind of leans over and puts a hand on Elaine's shoulder. And Elaine disappears.
Well, or you could just
that,
use
yes.
that, of course.
That is really freaking cool.
Yes, well, it lasts a good time. I can do, I think, if I push it 2-3 people at a time. I don't think it will last very long, though.
Reister, I know you're capable of changing the way you look, Zabornak. Is that
Yeah.
something you can do?
Yes.
I mean, Zbornik could wild shape into a small animal and just sit basically next to Esmeralda on the cart.
oh,
That
yes.
is true.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, I can stay like that for a few hours. If need be.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how long this spell lasts. I've only really had to use it to duck out of places very quickly.
It's
Well,
an
I can
interesting
always-
spell.
Well, I can always cause a minor illusion, and that might be distraction when it
Yeah, that's
runs
true.
out.
Elaine, are you attempting to do anything while you are invisible?
No, I'm just stood there.
Looking at everyone looking for him, yeah.
After about a minute, he fades back into view. Yeah, not as long as I'd hoped, but it'll work if we ever need to pass by someone.
Given that this area is not well trodden,
It should
it's probably
be
not needed too often.
Hopefully.
I may have a useful spell. I need to think on it for a while.
Don't tell me you got this guy's. You got that spell as well, Sky's self.
Actually, I do, thanks to my.
Oh yes, I gave you the notes. Were they any use?
It wasn't your note, it was more my new friend.
Oh. Well,
Ah,
all right. So, what do we do now?
I say we get some rest before we go anywhere.
I mean, we did come here for a specific reason ourselves. I mean, partially to make sure that you were all right, Esmeralda.
But
And
the other part we don't get. There is not a lot of information.
yeah,
According to the local host, the entire library is gone. Though I noticed he has an interesting book.
hmm?
I mean, he was reading when we were just standing there. He had been reading something when we came in.
I did not notice that. That's a good point, Treister.
It was just a book of the Morning Lord's prayers and sermons.
Ah,
True. Still,
That's what it looked
I'm
like.
confused how someone like him could be a representative of the Morning Lord, but things are weird sometimes.
this land corrupts everything around it.
As
You
Reister
tell.
says, this land could be weird sometimes. Arena just kind of gives you a really look. She's like, no shit.
To be honest, it does have its effects on everyone's mind.
Oh god, he's laughing again.
Don't worry. Everything is fine.
We came here to find something else. I don't know how long it will take us to find it.
Only one way to find out, right?
Well,
I'm so sorry the player had to take his earphones off for 5 seconds. What are we doing?
Arena is trying to not so subtly remind you that you came here for another reason without letting Esmeralda know.
Okay. Ez can't actually... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know what we can do. Ez just sort of looks confused for a moment and just puts her finger onto Esmeralda. Sorry, one moment. And in Lycan, just basically growls to Irina. I am so sorry. What were we doing here again?
Irina just runs her hand down her face, going, Madam Eva sent us this way.
Oh, shit, yeah. and Ez will very quickly relay that information telepathically to Zabornak, Reister, Elaine, and Icy.
Get to remember.
Esmeralda, you notice she is glaring at you in Arena right now.
Yeah. I'll be yes, I know. We is a little creepy. I get it. I mean, let's be honest, look at me, I'm really creepy. I know. But we're all on the same side.
Let's just say sometimes it takes fire to fight fire.
And I know all about fire. Because is gonna try and persuade her as well. Because why not? Holy shit!
You just go and get into her pants. Into her pants.
Ez admits nothing. You can see Esmeralda kind of having a bit of an internal debate, and eventually just rolls her eyes and turns back around to loading her pack. Look, I can see your point about us sticking together. That makes sense. But I'm not staying another night up here. This place is creepy as fuck. I'm gonna go stay down in my wagon. It's just a little bit outside of town, just in the tree line underneath the monastery.
Be careful out there. There are things out. Well, you know.
Don't you worry, I got lots of protections around that little wagon.
Well, that's good. Did we... When we were coming in, did we get the impression that there might be a spare house or something in the town?
He said there's quite a few houses that are vacant.
So if you wanted to stay in the town within walls, that's fine. But if you think that your defenses are good enough, then we'll trust your judgment.
Well, to be fair, the people of the town down below don't actually know I'm here. So if I come wandering down from the monastery, I might not get a nice reception, because they did not let me in the damn gate.
Wow.
Again, I knew there was a reason I liked you.
Well,
Yeah, I came up the cliffside.
Clever, very clever.
Tough on the shoulders, though.
Yeah, do you know what else it was tough on? She like lifts her her right leg, and you hear the wooden thunk as she pats her prosthetic.
Point taken.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
that's still the spare.
Yeah. It's taken a little bit of work to make a proper replacement.
Yeah. Next time we're in Valaki, we might want to introduce you to someone who has a knack for building intricate things.
I suppose that'll be handy. I do need to find like a tiny spring. You know, for a little bit of support.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
I think we do
Well.
owe you that much.
Yes.
Alright.
Think.
Well, I'm gonna get
Right.
out of this place. As I say,
Right.
I'm down below the monastery. You know what? Actually, come here. Pat's raced her on the shoulder as she walks past.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
She looks out the window and just points to the tree line, and you can see an arrangement of 3 boulders. Mark hearts between them. It's shrouded
Yeah.
in a bit of an illusion right now. You can't see it, but I'll be able to see you when you approach. Just don't
That's
sneak
a
up
very
on me,
smart-
alright?
Well, that's my job usually, to sneak up on people. But I'll do my best to not be too sneaky.
Yeah, just remember I do have a lot of traps around it. It'll be a
I
little bit
know.
hard to work together if you're in multiple pieces.
Well, I know at least one person here that can sew me back together.
Let's not let it get to that.
But I'll keep it in mind, of course.
Yeah, alright. So then, what he's doing now then?
We have one other personal matter to take care of while we're here.
Yeah, we need to two actually. We should go and see for the woman from the Wizard of Wines family. Visit the aunt. See how she's doing.
Alright, fair enough. Well then, I'll have to get a few more preparations in before I can start going down the cliffside. So, you guys totter on. I'll make my way out
Careful
under the cover of darkness.
Just be careful when you rappel down the cliff. It's looking a little bit treacherous.
Oh, trust me, darling, I know. I went up it, I can go down it.
Also,
Well,
not
the
to
thing is,
derail.
going down is easy. Stopping is when it's hard.
Mhm. Also, not to derail the conversation or anything, but when we were coming up, somebody got attacked by werewolves outside. So I don't know if that's a regular thing or something that happened recently. So you want to be careful.
Don't worry, as I say, I've got a lot of protections around my camp.
Yeah, but you unfortunately don't have the potion against lichen anymore.
You know,
Lycanthropy.
that is actually a point. Shit.
We owe you one of those too.
How much do they usually cost? And where is a good place? Oh, maybe the abbot. We could have him brew one. I don't know how they work, I'm afraid.
I don't know if he's a brewer or if he's an alchemist. Feel free to try. But I've got little protections around my place, so no werewolves are going to come near it.
Just be careful on the way.
Don't you worry, my little turtle friend, I'll be fine.
Stay safe.
I'm a big girl, I can look after myself.
This is true. And Ez is going to, wait for everybody else. Open the door for him.
Okay,
Thank
I
you,
forgot I
dearie.
closed the door.
Need some privacy.
Didn't want everyone to hear.
Okay. And as Ez is about to shut the door, she steps back in and just says to Esmeralda, "Again, we appreciate you taking a leap of faith with us. I know that especially me and Irina are not your favorite individuals, but thanks for the trust."
Yeah, just keep your teeth to yourself and I think we'll get on alright.
Scouts honor. She chuckles and steps out.
Weirdo.
Yep.
Here's Esmeralda mutter to herself about her plan going completely tits up as you leave the room. Where do you go?
Well, there's two places we could go. We could go and go through this door and see what's on the other side, though that might be a bit dangerous. Or we could go back down.
Zabonic is
Should go
very
back
curious
down.
about what's happening downstairs.
Hmm.
She keeps looking
Which
at the other door.
downstairs? So you want to see what's behind door number 1?
I was thinking maybe I could have a chat with some of these unfortunate people.
I doubt that a lot of them are in the clearest of minds.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of feel the same. I don't know if it's stupid or not, but I kind of relate to them a little.
And I'm personally worried that he may use them for some parts. Remember, they're partially human.
honestly, I don't think that they're much use to him. At least in that regard.
Still, only one way to find out.
Sure, lead the way.
Okay.
Oh, Zabornik, before she goes downstairs, she's actually going to cast Talk to Animals so she can communicate as quickly as possible.
Okay. Are you all following her downstairs, or are you just going to let Zabornik go on her own?
Definitely not gonna let Zabornik go on her own.
Okay.
Rice is following her stealthily.
Just give me a moment. So Zabornik and Reister are downstairs.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I think I'll follow as well. I'll try and follow as well.
As far as I'm aware, everybody.
Alright.
So we all go. Wonderful.
Alright. Just let me get these all in place. Just for the record, I think this is a terrible idea.
Of course,
I
it is.
know.
Are we going
We have
to
do.
Okay.
We're not going to interfere. We're just going to check things out.
To
For
be
the
honest,
record, Arena, I agree with you.
damn it, I can't seem to see myself right now. Oh, there I am.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
There you
Self-recognition is a virtue.
are. Okay.
You might need to shift click to bring us all on to zoom the camera in for us. There we go. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. So then, as you enter this hall, this room appears to have once been an office, as evidenced by the remains of a desk and chair, both of which have been smashed to pieces. There's a large hallway that leads to the south, and a staircase going up that you've just come down. A dark passage to the east is full of unnatural whispers, mad laughter, and a horrendous bestial odor. Zabornik, as you round the corner, you see down in the distance a hulking creature lumbering down the hall. Would you like to roll a perception check?
Absolutely. Yeah, as soon as this computer doesn't. Excuse my delays.
That's fine. Take your time. He's on an unfamiliar laptop.
Oh,
I'm old.
The corridor is entirely lightless. There are multiple doors and on each side of the hallway, behind which you can hear mad cackles, a few quiet sobs, whispers, curses, sounds of merrymaking, sounds of despair. As you round the corner, the stench assaults your nostrils, making you curl up and wrinkle your face against it. Even in the gloom, you can make out the monstrous shape lumbering down the hall.
You may want to stand back, guys.
can Zabornik make out, just for curiosity's sake, how many distinctive animal languages she can hear?
Roll in,
Nature?
I would say roll an investigation.
Okay.
They're all overlapping. They're too loud, too distant, too soft, too guttural, and all talking at once over top of each other to the point where you can barely make out any words at all. You can hear scattered phrases of common. You hear scattered whimpers in the vulpine tongue. You hear something that sounds almost feline, but it's too difficult to tell.
Oh,
that
that's
elvish?
nice to hear. I think my ears just got worse.
You do, however, hear heavy footfalls as the creature lumbers closer. You can start to see it now. Your eyes are treated to a terrifying visage of a 7-foot tall assemblage of human body parts as it lumbers
great.
closer towards you.
I think we better get going. Coming up.
Zabornik puts on her friendliest face and goes,
Good evening, friend.
The creature's misshapen and patchwork face snaps up. It curls its lips back and bares broken teeth and reaches its arms out as it starts to quicken its pace towards you.
Great, you just made it angry.
Zabornik kind of leaves through her mental catalog and starts trying to do a primate gesture of submission.
Roll performance.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Okay. The creature stumbles forward and raises its fists and brings them down on your shell.
Ow.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but the creature seems confused at your shell and picks you up and starts to examine you as if you were an interesting critter found in the garden.
Zabornik turns her head away a little bit and lowers her eyes and basically gives does her best to give every impression that she's not being threatening.
The creature brings you up to his face. You can feel the rot and decay coming from its mouth as it turns and throws you.
Ah.
You don't go as far as you'd expect, but you clatter to the floor. And you take another 4 points of bludgeoning damage. The creature, not seeing the rest of the party, steps forward, raising its fists again. At this point, I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Yep.
I would have used. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Just let me get the turn order up. There we are.
Oh god.
Yeah, we just switched on the automatic security. That's not a denizen. That's just RoboCop, basically.
Or yeah. Still, RoboCop can even be even RoboCop can be defeated with
How
words.
do you have them? Oh man, turtles are great. An initiative of 0.
Great.
I love it.
Oh, give me a break, and I'm on my back. And I just smelled his bad breath.
That is true, you are now prone on your back.
Yes.
At least you didn't roll a natural one.
Alright, let me get this big boy.
Oh god, Arena did.
So did
what?
you.
Arena rolled 16. That was for Icy.
Oh.
And that one was Icy.
Oh, okay.
So just let me get...
Too bad, Icy's strong.
Oh god. Alright. Ez,
Hello.
you are the first up. This creature is letting out ungodly moans and is currently raising its fists up.
Yeah, we're not having that. Ez is going to use her bonus action to light up the Kapesh. Basically radiating, like a fire from the sword. And she's going to 5, 10, 15, 20. Now, I can't, in terms of the rules for D&D, I can't go through an enemy space, can I? I can go through ally spaces, but... Okay. Now, could I, in theory, go around, say, here and here, or no, because of the corner piece in the way?
I would say no because of the wall.
Okay. Then, rather than do damage... If I were to hold my attack action, would I be able to sort of wave the sword at the creature to sort of try and get it to go back up there?
Are you trying to intimidate it with the fire?
Yes.
Roll an intimidation.
Okay then. Intimidation. 13.
Wisdom modifier. Okay.
Yeah, she's going like, back, you fucker.
The creature turns on you and raises its fists to cover its dead eyes. It appears to be entirely distracted.
Awesome.
Meister.
I'm using minor illusion,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm gonna link into explain chat again. That's my action. So I'm going to have the voice of its master come from around the stairs, saying, "Go back to your job. These are here on my behalf."
Nice one.
When you say its master, whose voice?
The abbots.
Okay.
Do you need me to roll a persuasion check?
Deception.
Okay. That could have gone better.
Okay. The creature lets out a sorrowful moan. But doesn't move just yet. You can see it shuffling its feet. Okay, so that was a cantrip. Are you doing anything else?
No.
Okay. Irina is going to step forward. What do we do? I don't want to piss off the abbot by hurting this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Neither do I.
It just needs to go back. It just needs to go back. It just needs to go back. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Alright. She is going to step back and hold her action in case it does something.
Mm-hmm.
The flesh golem. Again, it raises its arms to shield itself from the fire of Ez's Kapesh and starts to back away down the hall.
Oh, goodness.
After a moment, it turns and just starts to lumber away.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
I think using the voice actually didn't help, but
It did, actually.
couldn't hurt.
Great work there, Reister.
Yes, Reister. Good job. Good job. Ez
Sometimes
will
I
try
have
and get Zabonat behind her and try and push her back out of the corridor, back the way they came.
What? We're not done yet.
Let's rather
I
go upstairs.
I think we are. I don't know if he'll turn on us again.
Nah.
Yeah, we should probably leave.
I'm sorry, I understand, but it's not a good idea. Not now. We need more information.
You
Zabonic turns and shouts back the hallway.
Eat your vegetables, you guys.
Before she leaves.
Just be back in a second, hang on.
That
As
was-
you shout that, you hear a voice shout back, "Food! Food! Food! Food!" as a chant starts to come up, and soon the room is filled with the deafening cacophony of creatures shouting to be fed, wanting dinner, wanting food.
Oops.
Hungry.
We're going.
Leave.
Shove, push, shove.
They start howling and screaming for demanding to be fed as you make your way very quickly back up the stairs.
Well, that
feigning
was something.
innocence of what just happened.
We still hear it from up here.
You do. It is deafening.
Yes, I thought I should get their vitamins.
It's absolutely fine. I would have done the same thing. So, not to be glib or anything, but do we want to check this door, or do we just want to get the hell out of here?
What did you do? I didn't hear the bell. It's not dinner time.
Don't ask and we don't have to lie.
Oh, for God's... You know what? I don't want to know.
Yeah. Let's just say downstairs is not the happiest place.
Yeah, no shit. Don't go down there. They're all nuts. They'll bite your fucking face off.
They know the value of
I
nutrition,
didn't
though.
do that. Not necessarily helping here.
Israel has already gone back in and slammed the door.
I heard the idiot afterwards. Thank you.
Ez is low-key eyeing up this door and wondering if it's worth checking it out.
I suppose. We've seen terrible things enough. So you lot coming?
I don't know. Somebody may come and try to find out what the chant is all about.
That's probably a good idea. We can always come back.
Yes.
Yeah, the door's not going anywhere.
I don't
Only
think anything
leading
in this
somewhere.
place is going anywhere, to be honest.
Elaine?
Elaine, you're forgetting that we were never here.
So Elaine joins us as well, because Seth is currently AFK.
Okay. How many characters do I have to control?
All of them!
Just be glad that I've never been AFK.
You got a wheelbarrow of characters.
Speaking of, I'll be right back. I just need to shoot off for 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
No. Ez falls off the battlements and manages to fall down the 1,000-foot cliff.
That's fair.
Roll up a new character.
I've got 26
Their
of them.
name is George Morel.
Roll investigation to find her mangled body and bring it back to the abbot.
Well, within 24 hours after that. The only one who could raise something is a necromancer. And that's no longer Ez.
Roll Arcana for me.
Me.
Yes. You remember Esmeralda mentioning about how high-powered priests could possibly revive people? You have no idea on the time limit.
Still, I think it's better to have the soul fresh. For lack of a better term.
You know, just like vegetables.
Yes, just like Mama used to make them.
Anyway.
And we're back to the chunky salsa.
You head inside the bell tower again, and you see Cloven has his hands clapped over his ears. One over his adult head, one over the infant, and he has the two heads pressed together. He's put down his violin, and the baby head is crying and screaming. And Cloven shouts, "It's not food time yet!"
Yeah, you may want to consider vegetables for dinner. Just saying.
Not ready for food!
Looking fairly guilty, Ez is going to reach into her robes and she's going to pull out the set of bones that she has lashed together in the form of panpipes, and she's going to try playing a soothing tune in a piss poor attempt to try and calm down the baby head.
So you're doing a
Elaine just-
performance.
Elaine decides to join in.
Okay. That's fine.
Elaine manages to put out a passable tune. However, Ez, getting distracted by the screaming baby head, lets off a god-awful screech, and the baby head just starts screaming all the harder.
Lullaby, baby.
Sorry.
Cloven sets down his violin and starts storming past you. In a not-so-straight line, he staggers, holding onto the wall for support, and making his way out.
That could have gone better.
I think we may have just made his evening a little bit more difficult.
To be fair, he's not making it easier on him with all the wine.
On the upside, if we ever have to launch a distraction in here, we know how.
Yes.
I do.
Just mention one of the needs.
Good thing I said vegetables. Imagine if I had said steak.
Question to the DM.
Yes?
Not to metagame or anything, but this patch here.
Yeah?
That's
What
the end of the rope.
That is the end of the rope that leads to the bell tower up above you.
Oh,
Yes.
right. So, okay. So basically, this, if we were to try and climb up the rope, we would be ringing the bell.
Yes.
Exactly.
Ah, okay. No problem.
Also, why would you climb up there? There's only a bell. There. Not
Ez
more.
has done more random things.
Ez is a
This
great
is
bell
true.
enthusiast.
To be honest, I think it would be wiser to send Bonnick up there walking on walls.
Ez can walk up walls.
We have a lot of
You've not seen
abilities,
this,
don't we?
but she can do that now.
Well, I've seen Bonnick do that, so that's what Rysa would suggest.
Could
To be fair, it's the only reason she'd go up there is in order to synchronize with the environment, but you know, different game. Anyways,
Yeah, that sounds like a Cretan assassin would give. Yes, I can do bad wordplays as well.
Okay, so he's going downstairs.
Yeah.
slightly sheepishly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to put on an act. We didn't do nothing.
Okay. You head back downstairs. I have to reset the music again. He's come back down. You find that Vishka is now sitting at the table, her arms folded on her lap, just staring at the blank wall opposite her, while the abbot is mumbling a few words of a prayer.
So more dinner training?
Oh, no. I'm just saying my evening prayers. Vishka has no tasks to perform, so she just waits. You're welcome to join me for my evening prayers if you wish. He waves his hand around the table.
Ez looks to the rest of the group.
I'm already there.
I think it can't at least hurt. I'm going to go on the other side.
Ez sits next to the flesh golem.
I sit directly opposite her.
I sit opposite to Ez. Zbornik stands in the hallway waiting for all of this to be over.
Yeah, I guess I'm coming. Wait, stupid train.
I have lost Becky. There he is. Okay. Alright. The abbot smiles warmly around the table. It's refreshing to see such faith these days. Now, would you like to lead the prayers, Sir Elaine? Or would you prefer I do?
I would defer to you on this, Abbot.
Very well. He bows his head and speaks a few prayers aloud. Irina bows her head and basically mouths along with them. But these are not prayers that you have personally heard. You have heard some semblance of a few of the refrains that you remember from the Burgomaster's funeral back in the village of Barovia a long time ago. But you're not very familiar with the Mooring Lord. I see you, Patrick.
Welcome
Yes, I am
back.
here.
Welcome. I was beginning to worry. Shenanigans happened. We will fill you in on those in a bit.
Yeah.
Continue. Just pretend I'm keeping and still being silent.
After what feels like a fair length of time, the abbot finally raises his head and performs one last blessing, motioning his hands in a gesture across the table. And we are done for the evening. Thank you for joining me. It's not often I get to share my experiences with others.
It is a pleasure.
He smiles warmly down at Zbornik.
Yeah.
Were you able to find your friend?
Why, yes. We saw that she's still in good health. She seems to be getting on with all she wanted to do, and that is very heartening for us.
Ah, good. Hopefully she will come to see my way of thinking things, but if not, I will be here to aid if I can.
Well,
Your aid is deeply appreciated. I did have one or two questions before we left you to your business. I didn't want to presume, but when you were speaking to us before, you referred to me as fallen.
Yes, an unfortunate thing.
What is your experience with people such as myself?
Well, you are the daughter of a divine.
Okay.
The divine being that, coupled with a mortal, produce you as an offspring. If you're unwilling or unable to follow the directives of your celestial parent, then you are what we would consider fallen. A terrible matter, I'm afraid. It can lead to terrible things happening to the mind. But it is always possible to return from these, as long as your parent is forgiving.
That's good to know. You said that...
I just... Sorry.
No, Sephi, you first.
Oh, no, it's not important.
Ez sort of looks a little confused for a moment, and you mentioned as well 10,000 years was not a very long time from your perspective. May I ask, how old are you? It's a personal question. I apologize. I know.
I am quite ageless, my dear. I have been around for... Oh, I could not even place the yearly number on it.
Give us a ballpark of zeros in the number.
Well, I watched the continents rise and split.
Well then.
Can Ez make an insight check to see if this is genuine or he's just completely out of his mind?
You can try.
Yeah, I can try. Excuse me, was this, so this is insight, yes?
Yes.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, is that a percent? Oh, there we go, I found it. Ha!
You can feel your jaw just hang as he says this. And he says it with such confidence that you can't help but feel that he might actually be telling the truth.
So you're saying you were here when this realm was born?
Well, not here, he motions around the room. But I was present, yes.
I cast doubt.
If so, I have to return at some point with some very specific questions about some very extinct species.
I did not pay much attention to the mortal realm back then, but if you like, I can try, my dear friend. If I can offer aid, I will.
It is very much appreciated.
So is Reister able to discern that he might be pulling our legs?
You know that he believes what he is saying.
Okay.
Tell me, your, I don't know if influence, your experience, does that stretch to the continent of Chult at all?
It would not be one I'd be overly familiar to. My domain was in the realm of the Morning Lord and the Light. Chult was the domain of many other deities.
And what was the name of that domain, if I may ask?
That I cannot say for certain. There was a great beast that ruled that area, but he has long since disappeared.
A great beast?
Yes. Not quite a son of the dragons. Not quite a son of the eagles. A great serpent that flew, possessing of great magics. It was worshipped by the mortals there. It gained its divinity through that.
Ez is wrapped with attention right now.
I think the player recognizes that, but I'm going to roll a card to see if Zabornik does. Nope, she doesn't.
As I say, that being faded into a memory quite some time ago. Its primary worshippers were lost in a disaster. No one knew the source of that disaster, but with its follower base diminished, it lost its power, slowly faded into memory.
Is there any? Are you aware of the name of this beast?
I do not know, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's actually really interesting information. Thank you.
Large snake. You were saying? Large flying snake?
Yes. As I say, I'm not familiar with dragons. I would say it was one of them, but no. As I say, it was not something I was familiar with. These are only things I've heard from the others. It was not
Yes.
something I experienced firsthand.
Yeah.
I would say
understand.
if you want to try and figure us out, you would roll nature.
Oh, I have to roll nature.
God damn, I should have rolled
Well,
to begin with.
that's even better.
You know,
You know, if
of legends that came across the sea, and now that the abbot is speaking of this creature, it reminds you of an old legend you heard of a beast called a coxsacotl.
I have heard of that creature we're talking about.
Really?
Yeah,
What's it called?
a coxsacotl or something. It could have been different, though it's merely a legend.
The legend you remember was that this creature, whether or not there was only one or a species, you can't remember, but you do know they stood on par with the ancient dragons in terms of strength and power.
They were pretty much dragons, yet not dragons. So they were of equal power. They, for lack of a better term, might have balanced it out. If it is one or many, I don't know.
That's.
Heard it from a
is-
drunk sailor once. Not the most reliable source, to be honest.
Any port in a storm. That is very interesting information. Thank you. Ez is going to look around the rest of the group. Did we have anything else we wish to discuss with? Oh yes, of course. Are you familiar with the brewing of certain alchemical potions?
It was not my specialty, but I do have some on hand.
Well, a friend of ours, she had to spend one of her potions. It's to remove curses, you know. It's
A very
especially good for.
specific one.
You know, like the light.
Chrysler subconsciously rubs his shoulder.
Ah, the curse of lycanthropy. You spoke of the failed ritual. Do you wish to be cured of the sale? He goes
No,
to put his
oh,
hand on you.
No. We're fine. I'm just saying, we are fine, but the
Oh, we.
other werewolves, it's kind of, you know what it's like. It's a curse. They don't have control. And we wanted to make sure that the rest of our party were not taken out of the game, so to speak.
Well, the potions I have would not aid in that matter, I'm afraid. However, if you return to me, I will be able to help you with that. Well, I can try my best. It depends on how deeply the curse is rooted.
Ez is politely, but slightly warily. She's basically leaning back as far as she can against the table. She's almost like at an 11 o'clock angle or something. She's like, no, that's really kind of you, but I'm good.
I'm more likely to catch a bite.
And Suime made it very clear I'm not to receive a particular blessing yet.
Yes, I see the influence of a divine intervention in your past.
And you could see the corruption in my eyes, brief as it was.
I sense no curse running through your veins at the moment, my dear friend.
Congratulations. Clean
Not
bill of
not
health.
right now, but there was, and that energy, at least as far as I understand it. I mean, I'm nowhere near your skill. I heard it dissipates slowly.
Yes, curses of the blood can be removed with a magic word or a potion. Curses of the mind can take a little bit longer. Even those blood curses, they leave an effect. It will take you some time to recover and find yourself again.
So, I believe we may be done here for the moment, unless you have something interesting to share regarding the mating habits of the greater Pterosaurus. I had some inquiries on that on a purely academical question level.
I'm sorry, what was the name of that creature?
Oh, it's a pterosaur. Well, to be precise, it's more of a pterodactyl, but I think that can wait.
It's from long ago.
I'm
What
afraid it is
she's
not a
saying.
creature I am familiar with, my friend.
That's quite all right. I was just curious.
I'm sorry I am not able to aid you.
No worries. No worries.
It's like asking for the mating habits of glowworms.
Now those I can help you with.
I'll
Oh.
just write it down.
You can help me with an axolotl, but you can't help me with.
I was
Whatever
joking, my friend. Let me have my chests.
At this point, Elaine kind of starts speaking in Celestial. Just goes, but there is one thing that I would like to know.
Hmm? He raises his eyebrow at you.
My order teaches that for long ago, Selene granted special powers to her followers. They call themselves Silver Stars. Is this true?
And what were the silver stars in your tongue, as you would put it? They may be something different in mine.
Well, as far as I can recall from the tales, they were warriors she chose.
Ah, chosen champions of a deity. Most deities do have chosen champions. For example, I was one of the Morning Lord. Still am. But mortals, that is less common, but it does still happen. Whether Selune is any present, I'm not sure. But, believe me, she tends to make it very clear when she chooses.
She did rather infer that I was her champion, so to speak.
Then you should take heed of your goddess, my friend. Seek to her for guidance. I cannot speak on the behalf of another god.
Thank you.
He bows his head. Now then, you are welcome to stay the evening, if you would prefer.
I believe that would probably suit us fine. What say the rest of you?
I think we were already offered lodging down in the town below. Irina kind of looks over to Zabornik with a arcing eyebrow out of sight of the abbot.
Sabarna kind of shrugs it, lets her have it.
There might be things we can do for those in the town if we are not able to aid you right now.
Yes. I do intend to go to the town tomorrow myself. I must speak with the burgomaster.
What for, if I may ask?
The poor man has lost his son, his last child. I aim to ease him of that terrible burden.
Reister cocks an eyebrow. That's all he gives as an indication.
Yeah. If you like, you can meet me down there tomorrow and I can show you what I intend.
Why, that would be fascinating, wouldn't it?
Very well. By mid-morning I shall descend to the town. If you can meet me either at the bottom of the winding path or at the burgomaster's home, you are more than welcome to witness.
Of course. As you're rather quiet right now, everything the matter? Or is it just that you're barking mad?
But
Sorry. I would say Ez glares at Reister at that, but she just looks like she's processing a lot of information.
Yeah.
And she's like half paying attention to the abattoirs. Thank you. Yes, we will see what we can do about that.
Very well. Oh then, there are things I must attend to. So I do hope you don't find me rude. And as I said to you before, my friend, he sets a hand on your shoulder as, if you do wish to be rid of that curse, do return to me.
Ez like tenses up a bit, and she's like, "That's very kind of you. I appreciate that, but you know, she will pass his hand on her shoulder, but is pretty useful for now. But thank you. I shall keep you in mind, sir."
I understand. Very well then. I wish you a pleasant evening, and I will see you anon. Come, Vishka. We have things to attend to. The golem stands without a word or emotion towards any of you and just follows behind him with a shuffling step as he departs outside.
Okay, that may never work, his plan.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Even if it were a plan that were created of a mind that is of sound logic.
I guess
You okay there, Irina?
She goes to peer out the door for a moment and then closes it and turns around. We all agreed that he is fucking insane, right?
Oh no, no doubt, no doubt.
Alright. Just so we're all on the right page about that. I don't know about you, but I don't really fancy staying up here tonight. This place gives me the creeps.
I'll be honest, it is a bit twitchy.
I just thought there were things we could maybe do to help downstairs in the cover of night, but if you think it's too dangerous...
Zabornik, that thing picked you up and tossed you like a doll.
And I'm fine.
No, you're not. I'm not
To be
going
honest,
to.
you're pretty tough.
I'm not going to try the same trick twice. And I don't think that Ezra's fire will keep him at bay all the time.
To recap for Icy, basically earlier on, the party decided it'd be a good idea to wander down into the basement where all the Mongol folk basically live, and basically it's an insane asylum almost, and there was a giant flesh golem wandering around. Zabornak waved hello to it, and it kind of picked her up and threw her against the wall to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
We
was
had
fun.
to rely on fire and a terrible impression of the abbot.
They also met an old friend upstairs, Esmeralda, but we'll fill you in between sessions about that. Because we're
Yeah.
going to have to give you some backstory about her. But
Yeah.
in the
That's fine.
meantime... So, shall we head back down to Krezik? Before it gets much darker.
Yes,
Sounds
I
like
think that's a good idea.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Houses.
Let's get out of here.
Hope Esmeralda makes it out as well.
And she's smart. She knows what she's doing.
She's good.
She's sometimes too smart for her own good, that's the problem.
Hey, it's lucky you don't have that problem, isn't that right, Reister? Hey! She actually does the finger guns thing at you.
Alright. For the sake of
I
brevity...
set myself up for that one.
For the sake of brevity, I'm just going to drag you out onto the map. As you pass by the, excuse me. As you pass by the two mongrel folk in the guardhouse, the one with the shovel, Otto, snaps and snorts in your direction, while the female one just kind of nods and pays no further attention to you, but just watches as you proceed down the hill.
Yeah. Ez will, nod politely in response to her and, carry on with the group.
Okay. She just kind of snorts and rubs her nose. Okay. As you head down the hill, you can see over across the trees, it's starting to get a bit dark. You've travelled for a fair amount of the day, and you spent a lot longer than you probably intended up at the monastery, as you start heading down the narrow trail, at some points having to travel in single file to avoid the steep cliffs.
Yes, we remembered from the way up.
She's near the bottom of the hill. You see the evening light reflected off the pond again. You round your way back down to the ground level.
We should take a look at that gazebo at some time.
Perhaps we can do that in the morning. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little tired.
Oh, so am I.
Okay. You return to the streets. Diddly. There's still a few people floating around as you enter back into the streets. They seem to be winding down for the evening.
Still people look at us like we're new celebrities.
Yeah, again, the small children seem to be looking in fascination at Icy and Zabornik as they walk through the streets.
Go on, kids, it's time for you to go to bed.
You what? I'm 37. Fuck off.
I said kids, I didn't mean you.
I'm a looker, I know.
Let's just move on, shall we? Sorry about him.
I'm not gonna be in town for long. Hold the messages.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm a little bit exhausted after that last bit.
Oh dear.
Dear me.
I think that just tickled Dennis just right.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So, we are looking for one of the empty cottages, yeah? Yeah?
Thank God.
I'll
I'm
take
sorry, I
it you
couldn't
found what
resist.
you were looking for.
Not exactly, but we found at least a lot of things that answer questions, and a lot of new questions.
You know how it is in life.
Well, sorry to hear that. I take it you'll be staying within the walls tonight. The gates are already closed up, so I'm afraid you don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah. You know any cottages that we could borrow for the night?
The burgomaster looks around and rubs his chin, and then points his finger towards the brick building over here. That house has been empty for a little bit.
Well, at least for now it won't be.
Don't worry, we'll give it a sweep while we're there.
Yeah.
Just don't burn it down, I think we'll all be alright.
Burning down a brick house is rather difficult.
It can be done if you know what you're doing.
That's not
Yeah,
reassuring.
As sort of like grumbles to herself and tries not to eyeball the Baron as she's walking past.
He just seems to be completely exhausted and rubs his face as he starts to slowly move back towards his own house.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have an interior prepared, so these are all just going to live in the brick for a minute.
Yay!
For the sake of brevity, you spend the night. Well, you make your way into the cottage and find it is pretty simple in design. There's a mostly dirt floor. Didn't mean to do that. There's a mostly dirt floor with a wooden raised platform that has, you can see, 2 sets of bunk beds. There's also a larger double bed towards the back of the house. There's a small
Calling dibs on the lower bed.
There's a small stove a little further into the wall, the chimney, but that appears to be completely webbed over with spider webs. It hasn't seen use in a long time. The entire house seems to have a bit of a stale smell to it.
Well, look, given
Yeah,
how
then.
chilly it is outside, I don't think we should light a fire and be open the window.
Excellent.
Diverse
Put a
places,
camera
I
on.
suppose.
Kind of reminds me of my hut back home.
I beg your pardon, Bonnet, you were saying something.
Oh yeah, when we have a fire going, I can put on a kettle. It's gonna be cozy.
Given how many cobwebs there are up there, Ricer pokes his head into the fireplace.
I have my own kettle.
Reister, as you poke your head up the chimney, dexterity save. I'm joking.
Aww.
Well,
You can see daylight through the webs.
there is some daylight, but it might actually be a little bit blocky, at least. It might be a bit blocked. So we could light a fire, but if we want.
Subornik is actually
Anyone see any firehouse? Any firewood?
Subornik is actually going to look up the chimney and warn the spiders of the coming fire.
Aww.
Aw. Roll persuasion.
Okay. Still not using this.
Okay. Subornik leans in and starts whispering up the fireplace, and you notice this small horde of spiders starts skittering down the brickwork and in under the wooden parts of the floor. Some skittering
no.
out under the doorway, a few skittering out through the window.
Don't worry, you
No.
guys. They're just going to the corners. I just told them to get out of there. There's fire.
Ez is on the bed, on the double bed behind Elaine, watching this.
Good thing no one here has a fear of spiders.
It's fine. They eat flies. You don't like flies.
No
Yeah.
joke, when we were first coming up with this character, I did the very first piece of artwork I did of Ez involved her, she just had this little spider dangling off a finger, and she was like, oh, this is cute, because I was going with a witchy theme, but in the past few seconds I've just decided, no, she doesn't like spiders. She's just like the player, because I'm an arachnophobic bitch, I hate them. I hate them.
And yet you love my character concept.
Oh, I know, right?
This is fine. Lights torch.
Don't hurt them.
Irina
this what
wanders
Elaine-
over and sits next to Ez and nudges her and playfully whispers, "Don't worry, I'll keep you safe from the spiders."
At this point, Elaine's kind of half got his shirt off, but he suddenly remembers he probably shouldn't be taking his shirt off at this point. But it's enough for Ez and Irina to see his back and we see the weird markings that have appeared and all the different scars.
Oh, do you have a reference for what they see?
They basically, I don't really, but they basically see between his shoulder blades two wing-like black shapes.
Okay.
You recognize that symbol as the similar one that is currently branded onto Irina's neck.
Okay. I like a boy with a bit of ink. It's all good.
What?
So while those three are on the bed, getting all snuggly, Ez looks over to Icy, and she's like, "So sorry, we've been kind of things have been a little bit crazy and everything. We were having a conversation about your time in the forests and everything. Since we've got a bit of downtime, if there's anything you wish to chat about, share, ask questions about, now is the time."
I don't know where to start.
How about the earliest thing you remember?
The last thing I remember before coming to this world.
Aw,
Well, as I said, I was out in the forest, several miles away from my own little hut, and I was gathering some herbs for a soup I was going to make later that day. And then all of a sudden the fog rolled in, and before I knew it, I was here.
and what
And
you
next,
Go ahead.
and after that, next thing I knew, something hit me in the head, and I woke up in that cage you found me in.
Where would you be right now if that hadn't happened?
Oh, if I hadn't been taken by the mist, I'd probably be back in my hut enjoying a lovely turnip soup.
I appreciate that.
The special blend of tea I came up with.
Oh, you have to tell me about that later on.
Oh, if we ever get out of here, I'll brew you up a batch myself and tell you all about it.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
So, out of curiosity, what location are you from? Before we came here, the people I was working with, we kind of flitted between the Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep region.
I should be perfectly honest, I didn't think that far in my character.
No problem. No problem.
I would say
She's just from the mountainous, from a mountainous region. That's all.
You were from a mountainous region a lot further north than Waterdeep Keep. Although you weren't familiar with it, you know that that is a trading town far to the south.
Okay. Yes, I've heard of those areas. Never been down there myself, though many of my tribe have.
And what
I apologize, Zabornak. You first.
you go ahead, dearie.
Thank you, my dear. I was just curious. What is the name of your tribe?
Oh, you wouldn't understand it. It's in Draconic.
Ez switches to Draconic and says, "Oh, you'll never know, sweetie. There's quite a lot I understand." And she winks.
Icewind looks at her in surprise and starts speaking in Draconic herself. Well then, sorry, I gotta think of this on the fly.
No worries.
Apologies.
It's clearly the clan of the flurry wings.
Just try to weave in what you actually have about the character.
Know my pain. Come to pull things out of your arse.
Feel my pain.
Parents.
My parents, they're dead. I mourn their loss. I'm Batman.
I thought you were Dragonborn.
I don't know. Dracoman doesn't have the same ring.
Maybe
Well,
that's the name of the tribe. The Batman.
No. We are known as the Tribe of the Northern Wind.
Ah, okay. Would the likelihood is very low, but would Ez have, considering the fact that she was actively trying to find information out about any kind of draconic-based lore when she was working with the Zentarum, would that be something that means anything, or is it just such an out-of-the-reach group that she wouldn't know anything?
It's a very out of the way tribe. However, you would have heard their name, but no details about them. You gathered the names of tribes. A few of the closer ones you were able to get rituals, more behavioralistic information, but because they're so far away and so few rarely travel to that area, you only know their name.
Oh. Studying of dragons and, of course, anything tangentially related to that, including your people, I mean your race rather than your particular tribe, was kind of a pastime of mine for a while, a fascination, if you will. Honestly, in all honesty, it was kind of a personal thing, but as you heard in that room, and she points back up towards the abbey, I think I've spent the past few years chasing the wrong tree.
I think the phrase is chasing your tail.
Ha! Funny you should say that. As this has been going on, Ez has just been, everybody else has been, removing their gear from the bed. She's basically in just like a slight, she's wearing a couple of bits and pieces, and we'll actually stick this in the Dice&Dolts chat, because I got some art to share with our lovely viewers.
Gasp.
Yeah, I shared this with the DM early in the week, and let me make sure I'm sharing the right version. And that's in the Dice&Dolt chat. That's basically Ez at the moment. The one on the right, to clarify. As she's removing part of the bandages and everything, you can see the full, mishmash of, coloured scales, different patches of skin, and these intricate tattoos, which some of them Elaine has identified as celestial, others are in a completely unusual language. So, and yes, she has a tail. Bum bum bum. But yeah,
Hey, you said she's undressing?
she at this point she is basically undressed.
After
She's got part of the covers around her though, and she's just snuggling behind Elaine and Irina.
So at this
Irina is
point,
making no attempt to hide that she is currently ogling you.
Lane's more distracted by trying to conceal all his scars.
Yeah,
Right.
our scars are sexy.
Icewind is
What?
looking at her in awe. She's never seen a non-Dragonborn with Dragonborn features before, or dragon-like features.
Yeah. So about that, earlier on, when we were chatting with Esmeralda, because yes, you were in the room and you were part of that scene.
Oh, of course, I know everything.
Yes. I mentioned that I might have a soul or two to spare in regards to the flesh golem.
Still a terrible idea.
It was. I admit it was a terrible idea, but the basic shtick is around 6 years ago. I was found in a box in Chult with draconic runes on it and no memory. And I kind of looked similar to this, but not as much. I'm pretty sure a lot of this, she points to the scales and the different colours of skin. I'm pretty sure this was what happened when I ate somebody else's soul. So I don't, I don't think a lot of this was originally mine.
I think eating is maybe not the right term here. It's not like you digested them.
No, it's every single time I do it, I kind of become somebody new. I mean, I used to be called Emerald when I first came here, but when I saved Yadstera, Emerald just didn't seem right. So I'm now Ez. Emerald Yaz. Ez.
Interesting naming choice.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I know how creepy it is. Because I don't know how I do this. I don't remember anything before I was in that box. I just go with the assumption, I mean, let's be honest, considering what I can do, I probably deserved to be in there. I mean, how many good soul-devouring people do you know? Honestly. And all that story about a beast? I mean, holy shit.
Can't say I honestly have met my share of people like you, but as long as you don't try to eat my soul, we're good.
That Scout's honor. That's it's not an issue. Does Ez sort of like stops for a moment and she just nuzzles into Irina and says that I appreciate that, thank you.
Elena, I think I know who gets the double bed.
They're already on it.
Yeah. So
The three of them are already on it. Yeah.
Irina just kind of
one of them
sat
has to go.
down and took off her broken armor, and then suddenly Ez got half naked. She's like, okay.
Good thing.
It's like I think Elaine got on first, and he was just taking his
Yeah.
boots and part of his shirt off, and then Ez jumped up behind him because of the spiders, and then Arena came up to protect her. So it's like, yeah. I mean, if someone wants to try and take the bed from them, they're more than welcome to try.
Now,
Where's a bard when you need one?
Sir
Points
Elaine
at
is
Reister.
actually learning Sir Elaine is actually learning how to do bardic tricks.
Mm.
Not really doing the bad stuff anymore.
I'll be
Why-
honest, you're better at music than I am.
To be honest, yeah, it's probably your flute, your pan flute. That's not perfect.
I ate this myself. I
Yeah.
was very proud of this. And she waves it around. And you can tell this is basically something that's been carved from bones. You don't know what type of bones or where she got the bones from. But yeah, it's basically bone panpipes.
It's a collection of bones turned into a...
it's a great one for our first one. You just, they get better with experience.
Yeah.
That and maybe you just need a little practice.
Never really had the time, to be honest, but I'll take that under consideration. Thank you.
Maybe after this event, maybe after it's over, we could work on our skills.
Oh, you mean start a band?
I'll be percussion.
We could probably use you as the percussion. Irina
think that's
says,
what she
jokingly,
was-
leaning over and just kind of knocking on your shell.
I think that's what she was intending.
I have
You
very
reference.
warm, full sound. I have, I knew a few
Jesus.
musicians and they've all said so.
Yeah, so, some of them were from Bremen, I know.
Yes, Australians. Australians definitely have some stories about you.
You mean the Granny Z stories?
Yes.
We still never quite got a confirmation of whether or not that was actually Zabonic.
How should I know? People talk
not
about
like you
me
were
all the
there.
time.
Causing the great drop back crisis of '05.
Anyway, I see. The point that I'm trying to make is, we got you. You have nothing to worry about, and clearly nobody has anything to worry about from me. You're part of the team. We got you, and if there's anything that you need from us, you let us know. Okay, my dear?
That sounds alright to me.
Yeah. As someone who's spent 3 years alone here, this is not a good place to be alone. So, unless anybody has anything they wish to discuss, and she looks at Irina and Elaine, I'm going to get some sleep. And she just flops down in the middle of the bed.
Elaine just sort of shrugs and lays back as well, just kind of glad nobody mentioned the scars. Because that is the story for a whole other time.
So, I suggest we enjoy a small lie-in tomorrow. It'll be the first one we've had for a while, and then we can either see the were-raven woman, or we can see what the abbot plans for the rest of the team. Yes, bed is a very good idea. She just flumps back beside Ez.
It's basically what? Oh, okay. So is that visible on the stream? Just to be clear, the text.
Yes.
Visible, but not
Yes.
not very readable. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Rice has been drawing most of the time. And now
What has Rice been drawing?
Art.
I have no idea. I have no idea. It's definitely not a bridge of a starship. You wouldn't know where to start with one. Yeah,
Well, that's unrelated. That's unrelated to what you're doing, Cork.
So before
No.
you got distracted
He's
by...
definitely not drawing that.
Before you get
The
distracted by...
players know what he's drawing. Characters don't.
To
None
be
of them have.
fair, the last time you were caught scribbling something didn't end very well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And yet no one has wondered what he's doing.
Well,
I mean, Ez is basically sandwiched between a paladin and a human noble, and she's just like, that's where her attention is at the moment. Let's be fair.
Well,
Elaine is
which
so Elaine is asleep and currently dreaming.
Icewind is over with Subordinate, waiting on tea.
Here you go, my dear.
and Rice is now sitting on the lower bunk of one of the bunk beds, and getting ready for the night as well.
It's all so quiet. Shh. Shh. It's all so still.
Who let Bjork in?
You want Bjork? I can give you Bjork.
Oh god.
No.
That sounds like a
No.
threat.
It was.
Dun dun dun.
I miss you.
Could be worse. Could be giving us Yoko Ono. And her singing. Her what qualified as
Yoko?
singing?
Oh no.
John Lennon takes 6 bullets to the chest. Yoko Ono standing right next to him. Not one fucking bullet.
Anyway, let's
Moving
veer
on,
away
moving on,
from
moving
that topic. As you are in a cabin in a town, you don't really feel the need to leave a nightly watch. At the moment, Elaine is asleep. Irina has dozed off. Reister appears to be still sketching. Zabornik is minding the teapot, and Icewind is daydreaming out. Does anyone else wish to take any further actions before we skip to the next morning?
Just want to say that Elaine is dreaming about basically his dream involves a very large werewolf that seems to be being a little bit derpy, and Irina knows this.
How does Irina know this? Oh no! Oh, I just figured that out. Oh wow! Shall we spell it out for everybody else?
If you like.
No. I mean, this is your thing, dude.
Yeah, because of Kiri being in Irina's head, she can sometimes see what Elaine dreams if he fails a wisdom save.
Yep.
And he's currently dreaming about the inner wolf that was created when he was bitten at Abiyaga's place.
Well, I know what I'm joining next week. And that's not for the stream. Sorry, kids.
Should clarify that this inner wolf is an absolute puppy. So.
Oh, in that case, I don't draw like that.
No, don't mean
I'm messing with you, dude.
I know, I was just gonna say, if you just see this really, playful, happy werewolf there in this dream, basically.
Alrighty then. So that'll be an odd thing for her to wake up and half remember. Aside from that, anyone else?
Well, Reister puts his journal away with the drawing inside, looks over to the three in the bed, and
And the little one said, "Roll over, roll." Sorry.
Question is, who is the little one?
I think Ez
Elaine's
is
like
the
6
shortest.
foot. Yeah.
Ez is short. Ez is the shortest, I think.
Elaine's like 6 foot, near enough.
Mm.
I think I've actually got it recorded. He's like 6 foot. Good look at his size.
I think I actually do have a reference image for the chat as well because because I use a lot of 3D models. So I might have something to show the chat. Oh yeah, okay. So here we go.
Rena, I
that
think,
is
is
too big.
5'9", so she might be a little bit taller than his.
Yeah, he's about
she's
5'11", give or take.
She's a little bit taller. We'll count, but I do have something for the chat in about 2 or 3 minutes on the
That's fine.
Discord.
So we will continue with what Reister was saying there.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Sorry, we interrupted. I couldn't resist.
oh, the fun we're going. There are so many things planned. No one knows. Not even Reister.
Wahaha. Dot dot dot.
Can't tell if this is Reister talking to himself or the player scheming.
Yeah, I'm like, what
That
the
is-
fuck?
Player scheming. It's player
That
scheming.
is not the player scheming.
Oh, God.
Oh, God damn it.
But for now. Reister straightens himself out and lays down for rest.
It is, your phone is still an hour faster, so
Yeah, sorry.
that's alright, that's fine.
Yeah, he's still on German time.
Yep. Well, he'll soon be in the right again.
And that is where the midnight comes, yeah.
Yeah, because we have to get on the road for 12:30 at the very latest.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So Reister put away his journal, glanced over to the three in the bed. No little one said. Is that it?
Okay. So to clarify, did Reister actually say, "Oh, all the things I have planned"? Blah 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 blah.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Roll stealth.
Oh,
He said it very loudly.
You said that a lot louder than anticipated. Irina and Elaine are now half awake. Ez is now looking at you. Icy is the only one who heard what you said word for word, but everyone else is aware that you said something.
Eh?
Icy heard everything.
As he's just looking at him in shock. What did you say?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you mean.
I'm just gonna cast it. I'm just gonna use my divine sense.
No new evil is there.
Yeah, you sense no new evil.
What did,
No new evil.
what did
Nope.
he say?
No overwhelming power senses of evil.
At this point, I'm going to very discreetly cast Zone of Truth.
Would you like to click that?
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to roll stealth as well to make sure that.
Unfortunately, everybody will be aware of this spell.
Mm.
Ah,
You can't
can't hide this one, I'm afraid. So could everybody make a charisma saving throw? And can you confirm for me your spell save DC?
Spell save DC is 14.
14.
Where do I find that again? I keep forgetting.
You already got it there, you're grand. So, the only ones truly affected by it are as things. So let me just reread the text list to make sure I got this right. Fail save, can't speak to the bird live, there is you. Okay. You know that the spell you attempted to put on Reister was ineffective.
What was that here? No. Elaine.
Just something to make sure.
What?
Make sure what?
Meister, just tell us what you have planned.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing. He was mumbling when he said that, so
Sorry.
I'll just. Icy tells us
Right.
exactly
Just-
what he said.
Reister, I thought
Yeah.
we had this conversation.
You know, I told you about the little voice in my head
Yes,
when we were at Baba Yaga's place.
I recall.
Seems that little voice has decided to take on a little bit more than just the back of my head.
And
I wasn't aware what was said. It makes sense.
Can Ez make an insight check to see if this statement is the truth, or if Reister, quote unquote, is just lying through his teeth?
You can make an insight check. Are you trying to hide your intent, Reister?
No. No. That is the Reister they know and, well, in certain regions don't love.
Huh. Huh. What does Ez think?
You learn nothing.
You feel he is speaking with confidence, but you're not entirely sure if you trust it or not, but right now you're not sure.
right,
So I rolled insight as well.
Along the same lines, I'm afraid.
Reister, what did we say about vital information?
It just came out apparently, and I told Irina back. I don't know what you want from me right now.
Well, I was
Neither do
wanting
you.
to have a good night's sleep, but I guess that's not going to happen now, is it?
Elaine, give me the magic bag.
Elaine hands Arena the bag of holding.
She rummages in through it and pulls out the set of manacles that you stole from Esmeralda.
I thought we gave those back.
Oh no, I kept those.
Oh, why
Yes.
am I not surprised?
Yeah, it was actually Arena that stole those. She didn't tell you about that yet.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. This is if you don't
At
tell
this
the
point-
police everything.
At this point, I just give Ez a look at this point. Before.
Arena
Yeah,
was
before-
going to give these to as a present to Ez.
Yeah, Elaine just suspects Ez immediately. As he says, I thought we give those back.
Ez just sort of like looks at the manacles, looks at Arena, and raises her eyebrow a bit, and there's a bit of a smirk, but it's like, no, wrong time, wrong place.
Esmeralda left them behind. I thought we could maybe make use of them. But anyway, if you're saying things without your knowledge, how are we supposed to know that you're not going to do things without your knowledge?
I know I won't do things without my knowledge. I can hear him trying to persuade me to do things that go against my ideas. But if it makes you feel better, I'm perfectly fine accepting the manacles.
I think I would rather prefer that, yes.
Alright, then if you would be so kind and put them on me.
Irina walks around the bed frames, giving them each a rock, and tries to find the creakiest one, and then beckons you over and shackles you to the creakiest bed frame on one of the bunk beds.
Good thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the kind of sleep I expected, or rather the kind I hoped for, but
You'll be able to sleep just fine.
alright. I will try to make sense of this in the morning.
I think that might be a good idea. Okay. Irina heads back to the bed and then just watches Reister for a little while before lying back down.
Ez is just like sat up on the bed. She's got, with one hand, she's just idly petting Irina's head, as she drifts off, and she's just staring at Reister.
Zabonic
So it's you and me.
plops down in front of Reister's bed.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry. All I heard on this end was for what it's worth, and then you cut out, I'm afraid, Creech.
Yeah, same.
Zabonic plopped down in front of Reister's bed and before retreating into her shell said,
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
No, I'm the one who has to be sorry.
Plenty of that to go around.
Plenty of that to come.
Alright, Ez. Since the two of us are still awake, what do you want to know?
Frankly, Reister, it doesn't really matter, does it? Whatever I ask. Every single time, I think I've got a bead on you. Every single time I think we finally can trust you, something happens.
Don't think I like this.
You don't see a smile on my face, do you?
It's kind of hard with that turtle in the way.
Sorry.
No.
Don't
I don't
worry,
hear a
Reister. You
I
can
don't hear a
get...
smile in your voice either.
Yeah, she's... Ez is basically, she's kind of sat up on the bed. Again, she's got like Elaine and Irina kind of curled into her. She does have the capeche on her lap in between them. And she's just like staring at Reister and unblinking. Depending, what's Reister's passive perception?
17.
I'd say with a 17, you'd notice that Ez is not even breathing. She's just sort of like, she's almost like a statue. She's just still and staring at him. Don't worry.
You should at least you should start breathing. Don't think not breathing will do you any good.
It's not really something I need to worry about, my friend. But don't worry. You can get yourself some rest. And I will keep an eye on you and make sure that you are safe. You have my word. You are part of the team after all, aren't you?
I think I am, yes.
Well, let's hope so. Sweet dreams, Reister. And again, she just unblinking, almost like a statue. She's just staring at Reister.
Reister staring back.
Okay.
That's going to be a staring contest,
Okay.
in a way.
One, I don't think Reister's going to win.
Mm.
One I know Reister's not going to win.
Unless anything else occurs, Ez will not be performing any further actions. She's currently on. Let me just link that in the group chat. So this isn't just random flavor. She has. Where are we? There we go.
Ah, yes.
And yes, Reister after a few moments falls asleep.
Ez does not take her eye off him. Sorry, for the entire evening, and she's just watching him, unmoving. And that's it.
Excellent. Okay. He's all managed to get a little bit of sleep. Irina wakes in the morning with an odd, half-remembered dream of a playful werewolf chasing a ball around a field in slight confusion. As she wakes, she immediately glances over to Reister and notices that Ez is already sitting up watching him.
He's okay. He's not moved.
That's good to hear.
Did you sleep well, my dear?
She kind of smirks and says, "Better than I have in a long time."
I'm glad. As leans over and kisses her.
Irina happily reciprocates.
Hey! Who's
is
making the
Elaine
noises
doing?
over there?
It's Elaine growling in his sleep.
Ah.
Elaine. She pokes you in the shoulder.
Ez will actually lean forward and scratch his belly like a dog.
Irina
Wake up,
will
boy.
grin and let this happen.
Boing.
Okay, I'm awake.
He's a good boy, aren't you? Yes, you are.
What? What are you... There's something happened that I'm not aware of.
No. It's just you were so cute like that. You know, it was all a shame to wake you. I'm sure we can find a nice collar for you somewhere, my dear fellow.
What?
Nothing you need to worry about. Ez just turns and grins at Irina.
Irina is just giggling.
It is what Elaine suddenly remembers he's shirtless and just kind of shrinks a little bit into the covers.
You're joking, right? Look at me, and like I say, Ez is just basically dressed in the as I showed in the group chat. Aside from the arm bandages and the foot bandages have been completely taken off, that's basically Ez. So
Sorry, these scars aren't exactly something I'm happy to have people know about.
if I'm honest with you, same with this. Ez points at basically the entire mishmash of her body. But at this point, if I can't trust you guys, then I can't trust anybody, so it's all good.
Elaine just kind of sighs and just goes, "My father gave me these scars."
Ez's expression darkens a little at that. Oh, sorry.
Part of his grand plan to make me a barbarian.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away about 13 years ago. That's when
Good.
Robert was about 7 years older than me, so naturally, as the eldest son, he became Duke. Not long after, it wasn't long after I went to the monastery.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think I misheard you there. Did you say that your older brother is a duke?
Yes, my grandfather conquered part of a kingdom, and part of the peace agreement was the lands he conquered, he could keep hold of and become Duke of. So, yeah, basically, my brother is the Duke.
So,
Huh.
you're a Viscount.
I really don't know. I kind of assumed I lost any rights to any title when I joined the monastery. So,
Oh, Ez is sort of like looking. She's kind of perked up a bit at this information. She was paying very close attention, and then it's like, oh okay, it's fine, it's no problem.
Morning.
Good morning, Miss Swiftwind. Did you sleep well?
Better than the other night.
I'm glad to hear it, my dear.
Yes, we have no one turning to jam outside our tents tonight.
Eldrick is
again,
last waking me up.
yes, I can only really apologise for that. I think that was my doing.
Well, I mean, you helped, sure.
Considering he was at point blank range and I unleashed an eldritch blast into his face.
To be honest, I expected someone a little stronger. But, you know, at the end of the day, he was coming for one of us. And he, that's what happens. I'm not going to apologize for the salsa.
Well, it was a bit of a surprise. In the meantime, have you had any other revelations during the night?
Me?
She pokes Reister.
Me? Not really. Nothing new came to light. Unfortunately.
Ez would like to make an insight check to see if he's telling the truth, or if he actually did have some kind of dream or revelation or elder god speaking in his ear or whatever.
Are you attempting to hide anything, Reister?
No?
Okay. And I would say, again, he's kind of hard to read, but he sounds genuine?
Ez just nows her eyes a little bit, and she's going to start going through the pack of clothes that the party picked up during the werewolf encounter.
Oh, yes.
And she's actually going to swap out her clothes to the new design as featured in the artwork. Before that, she was wearing sort of like the blue Vistani dress that she picked up after they saved the little girl.
Oh.
Yeah, so Ez is now in her sort of like the Strager / Dark Moore bunch of different rags.
There were two things that happened last night. One thing you all heard.
Yes.
Okay, there was one thing before, but it has nothing to do with that individual, that side of myself. You see, I don't know if any of you noticed, sketching a little bit while we were at the abbey up there at the monastery.
Right.
And I don't know. I've tried to do a sketch of you As sorry, I should have asked before. But in the sketch, that sketch looked like I had seen it before.
Okay.
Then again, it might just be that I'm so used to seeing you right now that that it's just my mind playing a little bit of a trick on me.
When you say you've seen it before, what do you mean? Where is this sketch?
If the DM would pick it up from the player chat.
Okay, so it's that particular sketch. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
But
Okay.
the audience needs to see it at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Admittedly, not necessarily one of the great masterworks. But I think I've seen this before somewhere. Must have been there's someone who looked a lot like this. But then again, given how much stuff has been going on recently with my head, I can't even trust that.
Huh. Ez is very suspiciously holding the sketch, looking at it. Is there any, considering the stuff that he said about something that he's seen this before, is there anything Ez can roll that would give us some kind of insight into that? Other than an insight roll.
I would say no. As far as you can tell, this is a crude sketch of you.
That I'm flattered, but if you would. Oh, by the way, did he pull this out of his journal?
Yes.
In front of everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Ez is she's gonna glance at this and everything, and she's gonna be okay, a little wary. Then she's going to look to the journal. Would you mind if we borrowed that for a little bit? And she holds a hand out for the journal.
I haven't put much in it, so I don't know if it will be of much help. But
anything that we can do to figure out some insight into this little problem, my friend.
Well, be my guest. There's nothing in there that I haven't told you.
Ez will take the journal, and over the next hour, she's going to be thumbing through it. Now, here's the thing. Most of the time that we've been going through this, Ez has been asleep and so on when we've been talking about Bryce's backstory with his mother, with the girl, with the locket and everything. Would this bring her up to speed with all of that, or none of that, or is there anything?
No, none of that, actually. This is purely an adventure log. So,
okay.
There would be passing mention of things, but not to the point where it would raise any flags for Ez, I would say.
So there's no new information in there as far as Ez is concerned?
Not as far as I know, no.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is going to take possibly about an hour or so, depending on what the DM thinks. So if anyone else wants to be doing anything in the meantime while Ez is just doing that.
No, Mike and I are making tea, so...
Elaine's just pretending to be asleep again.
Hiding his shame.
So, Irina,
shame he just slept with two hot women. Where's the shame in that?
Yes, but he woke up acting like a little puppy.
Yeah, basically. I'm dreaming. He's currently trying to process how the hell Irina knew what he was dreaming about as well, so...
So while she's thumbing through my stuff, anything I can tell that you want to know, Irina? That I can help you? Trust me.
Quite frankly, I'm still processing this.
All right. Has found any good pieces in there?
Nothing new, pretty much everything that we've been discussing so far, all the things that have happened. Actually, in fact, Ez actually chuckles a little bit when she hears Irina muttering about Elaine. She actually hands the journal over to Icy and says, basically, this is a good summary of everything that's been going on so far.
Thank you.
So, at some point, we'll give Icy the basic Cliff Notes version of the entire,
Yeah.
The campaign.
the entire campaign so far. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, is there anything I can roll to see if Zabornik has seen anything like what is happening with Rasta right now?
The thing is, Reister hasn't actually told the DM what's going on, so I don't know.
That's where.
This is something that has kind of come out of left field, even for the DM.
Okay.
That's always lovely. Well, it's not entirely out of left field. I had mentioned that in the player chats last week. The untapped potential stuff.
True.
Rather, it's a darker side of Reister.
Okay, I would say roll a intelligence check.
Alright.
Okay, real quick, what I missed. My computer tried to restart on me.
Oh no! I'm sorry, dude.
Nothing of substance so far. Just Zabornik is thinking hard on whether she's seen anything like Reister's condition before.
And
She
the
probably
DM
hasn't.
was suddenly surprised that that this thing came out of left field.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a little bit more details on what's going on there, in private chat later.
That's going to be difficult because after this is over, I'm going to head for bed.
Well, we'll have a week
Over a
to
week.
do it, so. You glance over at Rystar, and the only thing that pops into your head was the dramatic sequence of when Sir Elaine was facing off against the manifestation of the Wolf King. Whether or not you think this is something that's happening to Rystar, you don't know, but you're starting to feel a little bit concerned.
I'm too old for no experiences like that. Okay, that's a lie. No one's ever too old for new experiences, but I don't appreciate it.
I'm very sorry. Basically, all we heard is I'm getting too old for this, I don't appreciate something, and everything else, unfortunately, a microphone really cut out there quick.
That's the gist. It's fine.
Unhappy with new things.
Just imagine him as I can't remember his name from Lethal Weapon.
Are you thinking of
Get
Danny
too old for
Glover's
this
character?
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Look, I'm gonna level with you. From what I know, from what I have felt, it's a part of me that I don't really like. It's a part that already existed long before. But it has gotten a voice when after I was bitten by that werewolf.
That is not worrisome at all.
Now it's not similar to the Wolf King situation.
Yeah, sure, hope so.
It's sometimes I come to sometimes I have very, very good ideas. Some of those ideas come from that voice. Some of the very bad ideas, like keeping information to a point, saying and giving out information at a point where it's not helpful at all.
So
That also
you
comes
think
from
you still
that.
have some of the lichen curse in your blood?
I don't know if it's the lichen curse or if it's a part of me that has decided that now they want to play.
Your intrusive thoughts are running away with you.
I don't know if they're that intrusive.
I don't know, they sounded pretty freaking intrusive last night.
Yeah.
True.
Second that.
You
Sure.
were talking about yourself in the third person like you were some kind of rock.
Well,
Look, I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm as I was saying to Icy earlier on, Reister, you are part of the team, and we are going to see what we can do about this. But I am going to do what I think is best to protect myself, Arena, and Elaine.
I completely understand. By the way, that is why I didn't want to do anything with lycanthropy after when you asked me last.
You think
Sure.
you would have lost control sooner?
I fear that it might have taken over, yes.
Yeah. Comforting that you have that thought.
Thank you for, bringing this to our attention and not forcing us to find out, the hard way and oh wait. Anyway, we have some things we need to get done today. We have somebody we need to see. We have the dead to raise. And then we need to get out of here.
Yes.
But first, tea.
Oh, yes.
I like her. I like her a lot. She points over to Isa. Ez just walks over and has some.
She has her priorities in order.
Mm-hmm.
I will quite happily take some tea. And I am... I have to say I am very curious about this raising the dead issue. But perhaps we'll see what happens.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, to be fair,
Might be.
if you really can raise the dead and not undead, it will be a handy thing if we ever fall afoul of you-know-who again.
I suppose. Still, it's not exactly natural.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I believe...
So do I have to be in manacles for the rest of the day, just to be...
Oh, Arena unshackled you
Certain that
ages ago.
That I know. Do you want me to get back in the shackles?
I think we'll just
Only
keep
when
an
we're
eye
sleeping.
on you.
We know you wouldn't appreciate spending all winter on the fucking sofa.
And to be fair, if you start walking around this small town in manacles, it's going to raise suspicions. And that reminds me, Ez,
Yes, my dear.
your little bag of clothes, would you have something to cover my face?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I was actually thinking, the armor. Where did you get that armor from?
My father made it for me, but it's rather battered and broken now.
I'm sorry. He was a good man.
Maybe we can fix that a little bit.
In the meantime, I think we did find at least one suit of armor amongst all the clothes that we found. We got quite a haul. So over the next few minutes, Ez basically helps Irina get into her new set of clothes, which Dennis was not able to finish drawing.
That's fine.
But let me see if I can actually find the thing I noted you.
Also,
and I shall-
Zabornik is going to cast Mending on some of the broken armor and see what can be saved.
Okay.
At this point, Elaine's just kind of sat straight up, just kind of woken up again, essentially.
Oh, back in the land of the living.
Irina, how did you...
What's wrong, Elaine?
What exactly did you dream of last night?
Now that you mention it, I had a very odd dream.
Go
A wild
on.
teddy has appeared. I had a dream about a werewolf running around a field of flowers chasing a small ball. It was very weird. I have no idea where it came from.
I see.
Why are you suddenly interested in my dreams, Elaine?
Just curious.
Hold on. Hold the fuck on.
You're all welcome to try.
Alright, I suppose. It was very strange, I must admit. Okay, so, Zabornik, you are able to fix up some of the dents, but not to the point where the armor could stand up to proper battering again. What did Colin hand you? Okay.
What did he?
Yeah, Colin just kind of walked in and handed Creature a signed postcard from all of us. Aww.
Aww.
I was just really curious as to what that was. He just kind of came in, leant over Creature, and did something and walked off. Anywho. So then, you managed to get the armor looking in one piece, however, it's not... It wouldn't be physically up to as much punishment before. But Irina kind of tucks it into the bag of holding anyway, and after thanking you, and starts getting into the suit of splint mail he's found. Okay. So we'll have a picture of that next week, but as I say, I think that is where we will end the session this week, because I will have to leave soon to take Creature to the airport.
Boo.
Send him home.
I agree.
So then, play of the game.
Me coming in 2 hours late. Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
Seriously, Rice started casting illusion to throw that zombie guard off. Project.
Oh, I found the artwork very quickly before the stream ends. Let me just stick it in the player chat.
Yay.
The group chat. So this is a very, very rough design.
Oof.
Okay, and fumble of the game.
Everything Zabornik did just before the play of the game.
The dark side of Rice to talking out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Criminal mastermind, it is not.
Well, it thinks itself very, very.
I am not
Smart.
able to click on that link, I'm afraid.
Oh shoot!
Yes,
Yeah,
same here.
it throws errors.
Oh gosh darn it! I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, basically the rules are, I clarified this, whenever you're asleep, your passive perception is halved. And that's
Ooh,
in
nice.
a dead silent room. If there is other noises, it becomes even less. But because you rolled in that one, everyone fucking heard it.
Well, Rice didn't roll, but his untapped potential, as it likes to refer to itself, did.
So Irina gets dressed and turns to us and says, I think it's safe to say that the name Irina is no longer safe. Or perhaps Gabriella. We'll have to think of
What
something
name
else.
would you like?
George?
Chic.
No.
John, Paul, George, Ringo.
I'll think on it.
How about Yoko?
No. Way too much plastic band in that.
It's
Racer X.
something we'll think on in time.
No
As
problem.
long as it's not Donovan.
Anyway, moving on. Any
has a better-
thoughts,
oh,
theories, comments?
Well, we finally got some interesting stuff with the Beast? Question mark?
Yeah. The X-Lotl.
Oh, yeah. The coat. Here's the thing. I have no idea how you pronounce it. I've only ever seen it rendered like coatl.
Yes,
Or
but
Coatl.
I think
something like
it's,
that.
I
Oh,
entirely forgot
it's
how
a
to pronounce
quartal.
it as well, so don't
That's
worry.
what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah. Quetzalcoatl.
Caxaquatl.
It's
Quetzalcoatl,
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah.
it's Axaquatl, as I was doing. But then again, perhaps it might be misremembering.
Axolotl.
Axolotl?
Axolotl, yeah, that's the.
That's the adorable little salamander.
They're so cute.
I know.
And
This
you are
was-
no closer to
yeah.
figuring out anything about the abbot.
No, we are not.
Oh, it bugs the Barnack to have that behind.
You mean other than the fact that he's crazy? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's nuts. He really is nuts.
I do kind of get the feeling that he is serious that he has lived this long and that he might be some kind of level 20 deity and he's just forgotten.
That does tend to happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I will say as well, it's like Ez genuinely, the moment he started talking about Fallen and everything, Ez just assumes flat out that he's another Asimar. That he's just like a...
Yeah, Lane kind of assumed that as well.
Possible.
Okay, bear in mind that Elaine did say to Ez, "You're an Azamar" at some point.
Yeah. Ez doesn't know what an Asimar is.
As far as
So,
she's
like,
concerned, it's a soothing video with audio stuff.
Yeah. So at some point she's gonna have to ask Elaine what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah.
To be fair, you did before try to explain what it was because Irina was eavesdropping and thought you were nuts.
And the fact that the abbot basically said, "Oh yes, well of course, clearly one of your parents was like some divine deity," and like, the fuck you say?
She's like a princess
Interesting.
of power.
Oh,
I just love the fact that-
said to me little theories about what the abbot is, and I haven't said it. It's great.
I just loved Irina's reaction to finding out about Elaine's parentage.
Well, he's nobility.
He's never hit it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like, oh,
technically
you're a
you-
Viscount. Ooh.
You're a viscount.
Yeah.
You're the son of a duke. The eldest son of a duke is an earl? Or no, it's a marquis. So, yeah, you're a viscount.
Someone could end up married to the Viscount.
Irina
More than
is a
someone.
little bit of nobility herself. Anywho, I think we will end the stream there. This has been fun. I enjoyed having all the RP this week. Esmeralda still thinks you're all nuts. And we'll pick things
She
up.
She might not be entirely.
Yeah, she's entirely wrong on that.
Oh, that reminds me. While I have the map up, just to give you a little bit of context, whenever she pointed out the window, she was pointing to here. You actually passed by the formation whenever you were looking for this search party. So that's where
Okay,
she'll be.
All right.
Makes you wonder, did she make it down the cliff okay in the night?
Oh boy.
He probably had an easier time than Ryster,
Yep.
who, while asleep, was still shackled. Sent you two DMs, by the way.
Excellent. I will check those out in a little bit.
Shagging to the left of me, shagging to the right, stuck on the middle.
No. Well,
There was no naughtiness, there was only mild cuddling.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh dear. So anyway,
Very,
that is going to be a good night from me. And going down the list, a good night from our special on-site guest, Creature.
Good night and goodbye. See you soon.
Is that your phone?
Yep.
Oh, okay. A good night from Derek Ork.
Good night.
A good night from Dennis.
Good night, everybody.
A good night from Icy.
Good night and farewell.
And a good night from Sephi.
Night, night.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye.